Hello everyone and welcome back to Fallen for episode number Trays.
Emotional support, Trazen. Good memory, Sheepy.
Happy to help. So yes, we are back once again. I need to skip past the song that just picked up in my head.
Same.
With the ill behavior. So, good to be back. We have more 40k on the way. Before we do, as always, links to everyone down in the description. So go give them a look and go give them some love. And wandering in things are going to be said, which is if you like the show, if you like the shows and you want to see more, because I do want to make more weekly shows, at least 2, and then a recorded thing as well. Go check out the Patreon. The Patreon is where you can support primarily, and yeah, you can you can throw some money in there, and it will go into cast pay because we pay the casts. And yeah, the more the support that comes in, the more I'll be able to do. Once we hit a certain goal area, I'll be able to do a second live show, and we'll go from there. That's not to say that I'm not doing extra shows, because I'm an idiot, but I'll be feeling a lot more comfortable about it when I do them. Past that, next, like, we're going to be obviously be taking a break over Christmas and New Year's and then coming back. When we come back, we will be coming back with another 40k show. Fuck it, announce it, why not? It is going to be a lot easier to cast. I'm pretty much already done. It is all female cast, and it is going to be Sisters of Battle.
Yo!
Yeah.
That's fucking dope. What the hell? That's awesome. Nuns with guns, baby. Let's go.
We're going to be running...
Londons.
Yeah, we're going to be running Nuns with Guns, and past that, we are in the works to also bring you a 3rd season of Dragon Riders, which is going to be a lot of fun, and a couple of other bits and pieces which are still in the works. Past that,
can I just say for the record, Nuns with Guns are the scariest thing about the Warhammer 40k universe by far. I'm so excited for that.
They're pretty high up there, to be honest.
Chaplains are zealots. Oh boy.
Shut up.
Not even close.
Past that, there is a very far stretch goal. Well, not stretch goal. There's a very far goal on the Patreon, which if we hit it, it'll essentially be when both live shows are funded with a little bit of a buffer for art and etc. If we hit it, I have agreed to not only write, but also narrate and publish on my YouTube a dirty novel, like a proper. You know the ones with the bare chested dude on the novel. Yeah. So I'm gonna write what his the turgid whatevers and the heavy breathing and all that kind of thing.
All right, he won't say this. I will say this for him. You fucking give him and give them your money. You give them your money, all right? You're watching this content. We're not charging you. You give them your money. More stuff will be given to you, you fucks.
Do you want to
Can we just stay just below the threshold of a Mills and Boone? Can we just below so everything else gets done, but I don't have to read this to my chat?
Yeah. So I can confirm I am gonna write it. I am going to perform it, narrate it like an audiobook, and I will publish it to Patreon, obviously, but also on my YouTube. With no, I won't make any excuses. I'll just be like, here's this video.
And if you go to his spicy website, you'll see him doing it naked.
Oh, you'll finally find out how surprisingly hairy I am.
Surprisingly,
I mean, even comparable. I'm like a wolf man.
I don't know anyone would think you'd be surprised about how hairy you are, Sheepy.
No, I'm surprised you don't live in a big tree house and go, oh,
But yes, so keep that in mind. Additionally, if you would like, we do now have I think it's super chats. Is that what it's called?
Super chats.
Do
yeah.
it.
We do have.
God damn it.
We do have super chats enabled. So if you don't want to do a monthly thing, you know, like Patreon, like subscribe to a Patreon, etc. You can also throw down however much you want as just like a little, you know, here's money to pay the cost, etc. And A, that will go to the cost, and B, yeah, you can ask a question if you want. We'll address it at the end. We'll read out any super chats at the end and be like, oh, hey, Sheepy, you know, why? Why? Yeah, there you go.
Can we offer the ability? We'll do it quickly at the end, but can we offer the ability for them to ask our characters questions?
Oh yeah, sure. Feel free to
I will
ask.
totally answer questions in Morrigan's character if somebody gives that does a super chat for that. 100%.
Absolutely, feel free to ask the characters
Any
questions.
questions asking my character would be like monosyllabic responses, though. Yeah.
But there's some beauty in that too, like how was your last poop? Yes.
It was efficient.
Yeah, right.
I am a knight of the order.
I only
So it was
poop in
good,
perfect
or-
cubes.
So
It was-
chat is suggesting that Sheepy reads it with his feet. So I mean, we
Oh,
could
for
go
God's
with
sake.
it.
What I will say is, I will take it seriously, and I will do it seriously. So
Yeah.
that, like,
It's a great idea.
yeah. Yes, but sorry, I got distracted by my brain going. I defecated, and it was all in keeping with the Codex Astartes.
There's codex rules on how to take a shit.
It was a regulation poop, sir.
Codex compliant.
So yes, there is also the website where you can see all of the shows that we've done. It's a good place to go if you want to find new shows. Obviously, they are all on the YouTube, and you can go and check them all out there. However, it can be a little more difficult just to, you know, navigate. So feel free to go to the website. You can click on the shows and see all of them. We have VTM. We have Werewolf, interestingly, like a short four episode Werewolf thing. Peachy's in it a little bit. In Werewolf?
Where am I?
Moon Kiss, buddy.
What's my name?
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I wasn't. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome
I
back.
don't want
It's
to
good to have you here, buddy.
But, you know, as anthropomorphic. Do you know what? Move on. That was a big word.
Yeah, that was a whole thing, and we were like, I want to say like, oh, Peachy was in it, and this, but you can't really say anything without
Yeah.
spoilers. So
Eggs. It was egg related.
egg related. Yeah, we got sci-fi drifting. We've got mage shenanigans. We have a completely new system that I made myself called Dragon Riders, where the players play both a dragon and a dragon rider, but each other's dragons. So it's quite a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That's cool.
And then obviously we have the QT, which is kind of Buffy-like in a way. It's not set in the Buffyverse. It's not super related to Buffy, but I tried to give it like a 90s Buffy vibe to it, which I think works quite well. And then obviously we are doing some 40k finally, so I expect all those filthy 40k only fans to turn up and be like,
OnlyFans.
ugh.
Yeah, you better drop a penny, you shitbags. All right? God damn it. Sorry, they like to be talked to that way, right?
Oh,
They're in
yeah,
another
yeah,
guns, right?
Yeah,
That's their
doesn't
vibe.
everyone?
Is that? It's
I
I
don't
mean,
think it's everyone, Peachy, but
I would imagine that Sisters of Battle only fans would literally just be that, like nothing sexual or sexy at all, just being shouted at by a nun with a gun.
absolutely. Like,
Yes, mommy.
Sisters of Battle is fandom.
Absolutely. It's literally Sisters of Battle is step on me, please. But if
It
you
is.
don't want to, I guess that's fine too. I'm sorry.
The name of the emperor.
It would.
the Emperor step on me.
it would be more than step on me. It would be like
the name
cock
of
and
the
ball
show,
torture.
Full on
In the
CB.
name of the Emperor, step on me.
It would probably be like they're not even aware that they've made an OnlyFans or they are on OnlyFans. It would just be that
absolutely.
It would just be that every day being recorded and being like monetized for.
All right, but what's
weird.
the analogy for Goj Van Dyer in this weird side universe of it? Some awful producer guy.
Ubers, get Bricky
Well-
on the phone. He needs to hear.
I don't know, Ricky. Where did this start? This is the weirdest meme. Oh my god! All right, Sheepy, you better wrangle us because we're never. gonna
yeah,
start.
let's go.
Let's do this. So in the last couple of episodes of Fallen, we have met our Astartes. We have met the Fidelis Angelus. You can hear the pause every time my brain like Fidelis Angelus? No, Fidelis Angelus.
Los Angeles.
And they have been tasked by their Grandmaster, their Chapter Master, to let's just sorry, the music currently is really like aggressive in my ears. I'm like, it's not quite there for what's currently happening. So the Grandmaster, the Chapter Master, has tasked Sergeant Tykar with a new squad, and essentially they have been tasked with going around the sector, the area around the Chapter homeworld, and engaging with enemies of the Imperium where and as needed, almost as like an undercover, like cover story to be on call for when they find this inquisitorial agent who is rumored to know the location of a Fallen. The majority of the squad don't know this. I believe it is only Tykar and Nephir and the scout, the veteran scout sergeant, who are at all aware of what's going on. The rest of them are just, along for the ride, I guess. Never more true than with Moricon.
Boom, boom.
Also known as Bullet Sponge or Bullet Magnet, like, depending on...
They're totally not an
Orc-fist
orc.
sponge right now.
True. They have been deployed on the planet of... I have the name here.
Harkton 4.
Huckton 4, where the PDF has been engaged with the orcs. They managed to make quite an impression on the battlefield, both morally, both in terms of morale and in terms of the craters their drop pods left when they hit the planet. They are currently outside of a orc kind of like redoubt, like a makeshift orc fort where a war boss has been holed up, trying to like wear away at the PDF defenses and kind of progression, the advance. Where we just left off was with a small section of the Marines charging forwards to as the tower, the kind of like sentry tower guns got knocked out. They charged forwards to get over the walls, open the gate, and let all the rest of the Marines charge in. However, once the guys on the towers got knocked down, the war boss immediately kicked the door open, charged out with all the rest of his orcs, and
Kicked me in the fucking face.
basically backhanded Moricon across the battlefield.
I got yeeted.
You get
Yeeted.
bitch slapped.
That was a definition of
I
yeeted.
did. I literally got pimp slapped by a fucking war boss.
So the where we left off is where we'll quickly fade back in with the spinning body of Moricon flying through the air as he has been backhanded and landing in the dust. Moricon, just as a very quick kind of note, pain is felt it's not debilitating, but essentially for the right now, I would say that as your body kind of kicks in and starts like healing itself and just suppressing pain, etc. You're going to take a moment before you're going to be able to get up, and obviously your heavy bolter. You dropped your heavy bolter, right?
No,
Yeah.
it was taken away from me from
No,
Datian.
That's right.
You dropped
yes,
it.
Datian
apologies.
Yes.
fucking took it away because I
But-
dropped it.
Yeah,
so it's
because
just
you
my
dropped
bolter
it.
pistol.
So yeah, you have a kill limit you had to hit before getting your
Yeah.
heavy bolter back.
Hey,
Yeah.
you're on a holy mission.
I'm on timeout.
So let's start off with there are two other Astartes, one of which is Maraban, I believe.
Yep.
So Maraban, as this happens, obviously the orcs rush out with the war boss. I'm assuming that. Well, what does Maraban do? Does he?
So Maraban would have been behind It was
Yeah,
Morrican and his brother. Or was it brother Nephir? Were you there? Chardin? Okay, so it was the three of us. I would have been behind those two.
Okay.
And I'm assuming as soon as that I see as soon as Morrican gets flying, he becomes my number one priority. So I'm gonna just start like popping off shots in the direction of the war boss and any of the orcs coming out, just to like give myself some cover fire so I can get to Morkan and just try to start recovering him, because I know he got friggin' destroyed. So I was just trying to make sure I can get to him, help him as much as possible. So
Yeah. And I assume similar from you, Brother Nefer, or
Yeah, I'm laying down harrying fire on the group that came out to kind of just keep them from moving in our direction, at least just harassing them a bit,
and
giving us a bit of time.
as you guys are off to the side a little bit, you are headed for the wall, not the gate. The majority of the swarm that comes out heads immediately for the grouping of Astartes in front of them. You have essentially like, they're not small. They're about as big as Astartes, who are like 7-8 foot tall. But even still, they do look a little small in perspective with this like big war boss in like decked out kind of, big metal armor kind of like surging through as they swarm towards the squad. The fire starts to light up from both sides as the squad, take a few like glancing pings and stuff, but A, orcs aren't very accurate, and B, they're a bit more dangerous in melee combat. So the initial fire very much goes in the way of the Astartes. However, as the orcs charge in and hit the line of the firing line of Astartes, kind of turns into a generalized melee, with like glancing blows and parries and the occasional bolter or bolt pistol shot going off. Sergeant Tyker, obviously you get a couple of orcs coming into you, and just the initial starts of combat. For Maraban, Nephir, and Morikon, a few of the orcs do notice you and peel off and kind of charge towards you. Essentially, the tableau that you have is you have Maraban with his apothecary gear, his... Oh god, I'm not going to be able to remember the name of it off the top of my head. What's the name of... Narthesium.
Yeah.
Just essentially accessing you, Morikon, and kind of injecting like some stims, some essential like painkillers. just gives your body a bit of like a quick little boost and etc. So in this tableau, in this moment, Sergeant Tyker, your intent was to kind of like move forward and deal with the big problem. However, as the battlefield plays out, you're actually kind of like pressed by like two orcs together, both of them with like just two big axes, and like one of them like swings down at you, and you know.
I catch his axe, and as the other one swings, I catch their axe, and I twist their arms and hit them with each other's axes.
I hit a
Basically using
motherfucker
their
with another
momentum.
motherfucker.
Yeah, just like swing through, and the axes like dig into each other, and the orcs kind of like stagger backwards a second, and then and like grab the axe that's like dug into their chest and like pull it out and go at you again, just kind of like swinging. There's like a glancing blow or two, like one comes off your pauldron, another one like brings up sparks as it hits the armor on your thigh and like slides down to the ground. As this is happening, the warboss is like fairly slowly kind of plodding through, like wading through the battlefield, and you see this is Lazriel, brother Lazriel, with the one with the fairly ancient chainsword, managed to cut his way through a couple of orcs and into sorry, I was gonna 40k in my head. I was gonna say base to base combat. Cuts his way into within swinging range of this the war boss. And as he goes, you know, there's a lot of flourishes and a lot of like, you know, that like revving chainsword sound where it's like, and it just like flying bits of orc going all over the place. As he gets there, you see him like swing towards the orc war boss with this like really relic looking chainsword, and like hit in a chink in his armor, and like rev, and there's like a rev and like a little kind of like sploosh of blood from the side of it, but you notice that it doesn't really move much, and the orc war boss kind of like, after a very long feeling second of not really doing anything, reaches down and like just swings and hits Lazriel, sends him flying all the way back to essentially towards you, and like screeching across the ground.
Jesus.
And
Big.
This dude's a backhanding machine. Like, just,
well, this was more of like a kind of like thing.
oh, gotcha. Okay.
He's got fairly large, like consider them to be like brass knuckles almost, just like big spiky gauntlets on his fists. He hasn't actually drawn a weapon at the moment, but, and kind of like in the center of this mix of melee and an exchange of fire, I will say probably to Tykar, because you have the best like look at the situation compared to the other three. The fight is definitely going in the Astartes favor. There doesn't seem to be anyone overwhelmed. Whether it comes to close combat or not, the Space Marines appear to be holding their own. The main problem is the war boss. He's pretty big, and he's pretty tough, as you can tell from basically firming a chainsaw to the side. And as he smashes away Lazriel, and the Astartes goes flying and hits the ground, he raises up his fists and like smashes them together with this, you know, almighty kind of clang that even with the shouting and the clashing can be heard over the battlefield. And he says, sorry, I just needed to, yep, there we go. Oi!
There ain't enough of you to beat me, but maybe if you all comes at me at once, it'll be a little fun.
Marines, hold your ground. Brother Nafir, make me a path. The orc is mine.
Ooh.
I like swing from my position and like run, like right, like flanking as best I can, and try and just cut a path for him to get through.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's just do one of those rare things called a roll.
Fancy.
So, Nefir, could you roll me your ballistic skill, please? Seeing as you are essentially clearing a path, you are pretty much intending to shoot orcs, and there are quite a few orcs. So take 2 bonus die.
Ooh, bonus 2 roll.
Okay, that is 5 with
5 successes.
with 2 6s, which I'm pretty sure is a good thing.
God, systems really are just a suggestion here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Essentially, you charge forward and you switch the firing on your bolter, and instead of holding it like undercarriage, you switch to above and pull on the trigger. And instead of the kind of like gush, 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 gush that is usual bolter fire, it's more like grrr, and you just use the pressure of your hand on top of it to steady your fire enough that it just kind of like creates a corridor of bolter fire, you know. And multiple orcs like take hits, they hit, they explode, and like arms go flying, and you know.
Like Moses, but with like orc viscera.
Yes, yes.
The Green Sea instead of the Red Sea.
Oh, damn it. I was going to say he's parting the Green Sea.
We were there. It was a group effort, all right?
Once the bolter is empty, I'll sling it and switch to my pistol and knife to clear out any last ones.
And as you do, as like the press is eased a little bit, you kind of jump in, and you there's an orc with 2 axes like battering down on one of the brothers, and you just jump in behind, like grab the orc by this kind of like tuft of hair, squig hair that it's got, and just like slam the knife like right into the meaty bit of the neck back there, and it goes limp. Sergeant Tycon.
Yes.
So the way is clear.
Yeah, so I will just basically stride through the fungus, the fungus among us, and just I'm gonna like slowly stalk towards the orc, and when I get out of the pile of people,
Hear me, orc. You have defiled this world with your presence. You have dared to oppose the Emperor's will. You have shown me your cowardice by hiding behind these hordes of filth. But you cannot hide from my wrath. I am Varric Tyker of the Fourth. I am the Unforgiven. I am a son of the Lion. And you, foul Xenos, are unworthy of life.
and everyone can probably see me draw my sword out in the open. And as I pull it out of the scabbard, I ignite it with the thumb switch, and you see it's a Cannibal-Knight longsword. And as the field goes around the sword, there seems to be a break just above the hilt on the blade, and the sword extends maybe a centimeter or so, but it looks like there's this jagged tear in the middle, making it look like a broken sword. But the blade looks like it's floating above the rest of it.
Oh, okay.
It's actually like it looks like there's like a space in between it, but like it's still maintaining shape.
Yeah, as I power it up, it sort of the power kind of pushes it apart.
What the fuck? What is that?
And the war boss like crouches, which doesn't make him much smaller, but crouches and like slams his fists together and says,
I'm a crump ya.
You give this speech and he's just like, "You're big dumb."
and he charges forward with like big kind of boot steps as these massive like orc metal boots are smashing the ground, and brings both of his fists down with like chains jangling like right down towards the top of your head.
I hold my ground until the very last minute, and as he's like committed to hitting me, I just sidestep a bit.
Yeah. And you like with the swiftness of an Astartes, like as the almost grazing you, but with like perfect confidence of timing it right. You like slip to the side really quickly as the fists come down. Like this orc can move pretty fast, especially for his size. And as his fists hit the ground, like the ground cracks and like dust like flies up. A few bits of rock go like pinging off Space Marine armor.
Yeah, as he slams down and you can feel the quake in the earth, I just bring my knee up straight into the side of his ribs.
Yeah,
And
and
stand back.
and like as you like hit like the side of his ribs with your knee, like there's like a soft kind of like, ooh, but he barely moves, and then from that position of like bang, he swings his left arm off to the side of you, and this like kind of almost like a wrecking ball, like this whoosh of like air as it swings towards you, the like kind of like the side of you.
As he swings out, I wasn't prepared for him to be quite this quick, and I don't stumble back, but it's a bit drunken master.
Yeah.
Like, I just about get out the way, and then I bring my sword up to a guard.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's hit a roll. Roll me, let us say, your weapon skill. But the attribute linked will be strength.
How do I check? Oh, I can just drop down.
Yeah, there's a drop down you can use.
3 successes, one of them is a 6.
And
Oof. Oof.
That's a big old pool.
yeah, so the Warboss Steel Fist rolled 4 sixes and 7 total icons. So the fist, like you catch it with the blade, and it's not exactly that you lose in strength. It's I mean you do, but you manage to mitigate a lot of the force. However, your objective would be to stay still. To hold it, and that doesn't happen. The force not only knocks you, but it forces you backwards, and you stagger a little bit. And the war boss on pushing you back and forcing you, you move back out of his range a little bit. Stands up and looks around and says,
This one's weak. Isn't there anyone here who can face me?
I mean, if I was still young and impetuous, I probably would have fallen for that. But I'm pretty smart now, so I'm going to pretend I fall for it.
yeah.
And I'm going to feign charging at him to try and run him through.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing that.
And as you do charge through to run him through, you see this kind of grin appear on his face, a little sly look in his eye, and he kind of turns to face you, and kind of ready to. I would say once you get to the point where, if you are charging in, full bore, within reach, just brings both of his fists forward and kind of like lunges forward at you to kind of catch you in between his fists.
But I'm not going to end up where he looks, or where it looks like I'm going to end up.
Okay.
Is there like a fooled you roll?
Deception?
Deception.
Is
Not
that
really
like,
deceptive.
just like gotcha? That's just
Basically,
a roll called
I would-
gotcha.
I would say either cunning or athletics in this instance. I don't think it's really about tricking someone, more as like, I would say athletics.
Combat thing.
Is there a debated roll? Does that exist?
I would say, considering that you are playing into what he's expecting you to do, take a bonus dice as well.
So add bonus die and
Yeah.
then roll. 3
Okay,
successes.
3 successes. Cool. What are you intending to do? What's the...
So like he's gonna commit to where he thinks I am just gonna run up and stab him. But I'm just gonna stoop down underneath and try to get at the back of his legs and maybe go for like his Achilles heel.
Okay. Hit me a weapons skill again. 4.
successes.
Okay. Yeah. You duck under as this clangs together, and not that he was expecting to miss, but when he does, he brings his fist down because you've essentially slipped under his arms. As he brings his fist down again, you kind of slide forward and to the right and just like run your sword like along his kind of along his calf, along that lower part of his leg, and just like there's like a sizzle as the power field like connects with the blood and like vaporizes it as you pretty much like 4 successes. Yeah, I'd say like you get deep in. You don't sever the leg, but you probably at the very least like cut through the bone as well, as there's this big like. Do you continue the attack or do you move back?
No, I move back because now I've got an advantage.
Okay.
I can play on his right leg now.
Yeah. And he kind of swings around as you've kind of like moved to the side and backed off. He swings around with like that little cunning glint in his eye and smile is gone. He angry and he about to charge, and he immediately like blood's still not gushing, but blood's still like spurting out of his leg. He just charges towards you now, like big fist raised and like straight towards you.
Okay, I'm not doing the same thing, but I'm gonna be focusing on his right hand side now because that's much weaker.
Yeah.
And as he's coming into the punch, what I'm going to attempt to do is to block it with my sword and spin around with the momentum, and then try and sever his arm.
Okay. Yeah. So I would say, in this instance, like, even though he's bigger than you, he's pissed and he's going all in like he tried to bait you into doing.
Yeah.
He is now doing, because he's like, puny little tin can just cut my leg up.
Ooh, this BE.
So as his fist like kind of swings past your face and you, it's like it's like the what the hell is the creature in Lord of the Rings? Like the head goes in and just gets hacked off. It's like that. Yeah. So so like the fist like goes past your face and you bring your power sword down and it goes most of the way.
I was
like
trying to fruit ninja him. Just
yeah. It doesn't. I would say it doesn't quite go all the way through in the first hack, but you're quick enough, and the power sword does slice through things pretty damn well. Another hack, and like the hand is gone, and you hear this like almighty roar, and the. Okay, in this instance, please roll me a athletics again. Take 2 bonus dice just purely because he is
Pissed.
coming off. Well, he's coming off the worst of this a little bit. 5 and 5. Okay. The orc like loses his arm, and you hear this roar. Like you don't feel. You see like a kind of arc of blood as he tries to like hit you with the stump of his arm. As he like backs off. Essentially, the blood goes splattering, and your helmet and your like pauldrons and everything just gets splattered with blood as he backs off and kind of.
I don't think that added my bonus die, by the way. I only rolled 8.
Okay.
Yeah, same when I rolled earlier. I didn't roll extra ones when I put iron in.
I didn't get any successes anyway.
Okay. And he then kind of like, he's not backing off exactly, but his stance is a lot less assured, and he's taken a slightly more crouched and more defensive stance. As you see his eyes like swivel to the left and to the right. As the camera pans away for a second, we see Brother Nephir with knife and bolter like railing into another one. We see Morakan being helped up onto his feet by Maraban, and the rest of the Astartes, some of them with chainswords, some of them with knives, a couple of them like stood back and picking off any orc who disengages from real close contact, immediately getting gunned down by bolter fire. As the orcs very quickly are being kind of. There's never an instance where an Astartes is overwhelmed. The second that one of you has a few too many orcs on them, another one will peel off and assist them, and they'll join up into 2 and then deal with them, and then, those 2 will look around quickly, assess the battlefield, move to help the others. So it's a very effective way of thinning out the orcs, which is happening very quickly. And you can see the camera seeing this swings back to just behind the sergeant, where you've got the orc, big and towering, but kind of down on one knee and hunched a little bit, and then the sergeant with this pointing down diagonally towards the ground, just fired up power sword, which is just crackling with a little bit of energy lightning across it.
Before I make my next attack, I'd like to rile him up a little bit.
Okay.
Because he's going defensive, and that's not where my advantage is.
Yeah.
What's the matter, Filth? You tired?
Yeah, and he he essentially with his good arm, he smashes into the crowd, and he says,
"Shut up! I'm a crumpier."
You're going to be running out of limbs as I run at him.
Yeah, and he actually you've ramped him up enough that he also kicks off and pushes towards you with his fist raised. What I will give you is he appears to have some cunning and some battle experience at the very least. He does also maybe have appeared to rely on his brute strength a bit too much. I would say he would be able to fight some of the Imperium's enemies, something a bit more simple like a Tyrannid or something along those lines. But if he was engaged with battle with something like a Eldar forces, it might go in a entirely different way. And he, as you both move towards each other, as you get closer, he brings down his fist again, very simple, straight down towards you.
I'm actually going to step inside of his range.
Okay.
because I assume he's going for a big haymaker, crush the beaky.
Yeah.
I'd like to step into his range, and as he's like bringing his arm down and bringing his weight down, I'd like to bring the strength of my helmet and head into his jaw.
Okay. Yeah,
So
yeah.
basically, I'm going to be as solid as I can in my power armor, but it's his strength that's going to hit him in the jaw, basically.
Right. Okay. Yeah, yeah. And as he comes down, hit the his essentially where his throat is, you'd like swing in and position yourself under his throat, and as it comes down, just kind of like gets lodged in there, and as his fist hits, he also like stops there for a second, and you can kind of like feel above you like a kind of rumbling, and you can hear this kind of like gurgling and.
He stopped moving.
Yeah.
I'm gonna extradite myself and just bring my sword down with a big executioner
Yeah.
straight at the neck that I just crushed.
So as you like slide out from underneath the orc, you fire up your power sword, crackles, and just sling, and just this slice goes like straight through the neck, and after like a hang of like a half second, the head just slides off and there's like the head slides off and there's this big heavy thud as it hits the ground, and there's another like hanging half second, and then blood just goes whoosh out of the neck hole, and just like water sprinklers the battlefield.
You can hear his blood like fizzling as it's hitting the power field on my sword, like burning away.
Full on Tarantino over the top blood going on.
Yeah, some Kill Bill shit.
Yeah. And as that happens, the remnants of the orcs, pretty much all at the same time, just lose any leftover desire to fight and start to run, with very efficient battlefield etiquette, let's say. The Marines reform without being ordered and essentially just gun down the remaining orcs. Like, there's a couple that make it maybe to the base of this kind of like hill area where the hills start. They get taken out by the scout sergeant and his weapons. So the battlefield quickly turns, especially definitely when the war boss falls. It turns from a fairly hectic melee and firing and to just this kind of like quiet still as the orcs have all been vanquished.
I just sheathe my blade with no ceremony.
Apothecary, how are they injured?
Molakan, he is recovering. What is the? I hadn't gotten a chance to go deal with what's his name, the one who got really knocked. Azrael, yeah.
Lazriel, yeah.
Lazriel, yeah. So I'm gonna go check out Lazriel now. I don't know. I think he probably would have been in a worse shape because he took a full fist. So I'm gonna get down and just start analyzing his wounds and be like, for the sergeant, he will recover. He is strong. He is one of us.
Fourth reform.
And the Astartes pull back from, they'd fanned out a bit to take out the last of the orcs. They reform in. Maraban, Morrican has a broken arm, a couple of broken ribs.
Fuck.
Nothing that he can't walk off, essentially.
Wait, do we have ribs?
Pretty sure you do, yeah.
Aren't they
Don't
like
we have a
like
We have like a
blended
solid
together.
bone plate here.
Yeah, they kind of like. I don't know if you can't break individual. I think it's like.
Apologies. Let's call it a
Sorry, I didn't do my own rule. Yeah, I didn't do my own rule.
No.
No. Don't we have a single bone plate here? Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't do
Nice.
my own rule. You're absolutely right.
let's call it then like a cracked bone plate, essentially.
Yeah.
There is a shallow like a shallow crack line that runs through it that essentially will it's not great, but
I'll be fine.
yeah, like if the battle had continued, you could probably, like you could have got yourself back up and rejoined.
He's only running off 2.5 lungs now.
Yeah. And
No.
as Lazriel is being tended to by Maraban, he's going to need a little extra work. There appears to be some internal injury that's going to need to be seen to. Essentially, he's not in danger. He's just more fucked up than Morrican.
Yep. I'm like Morkan, I will be back to take care of you in a minute. Your brother needs more help right now than you do.
And I just kind of go.
I just got that image of Morrican standing there, like holding his side, like helmet off, and he just puts his thumb up and then coughs, and just blood just water falls out of his mouth for a second. He's like, I'm good.
I feel like Morkan would have been like Starship Troopers propaganda in those videos and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm doing my part. Pretty much. He's fucked up, but Morrican's just kind of still happy to be like,
Yeah.
He's in his element. Like he's even in trouble right now, and he's still just like, ah.
Yeah.
You did what Cassian couldn't. You found the war boss.
Sure.
I did. Or
You
he
found it real
me.
good, buddy.
Or he found me. I don't know which one. Either way.
Makes me think of that thing where like a character goes into a saloon and it's like, oh, don't worry, I'll go find the boss, and then gets like the next shot is a comedy shot of them flying out the window and be like,
Yeah,
I found the boss.
Yeah. I got him.
Sergeant Tykar, you receive actually the tech marine walks over to you and says,
Sergeant, I have been contacted and informed that we are being sent transport to be picked up, as we will be moving on to the next objective on a different planet.
Shit, that was fast.
Acceptable. Fourth, we're moving out. Gather your war gear.
and there's multiple
Sergeant.
ascents. Yes, yes, Sergeant.
I'm not talking much, but you get the affirmative, like on your HUD, you get like a little like blink affirmative thing that pops up.
Yeah.
And the camera fades away from this.
That was fucking cool, Sheepy.
That
was cool.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. And we fade back in on a ship in the warp. You have all been picked up. The PDF essentially, as you were leaving, came into the area. Not much to do in terms of like anything else. It's time for you to head off to your next objective. And over the next month or so, you are deployed to multiple planets in the area to deal with sizable specific orc redoubts, places where there are war bosses, where there are like more difficult than usual orc holdouts. Essentially, the Imperium in this area of the sector are dealing with orcs, as is probably obvious by now. They're not doing too badly. but there are always times, especially with orcs, there's always times where you get one orc rising to the top. And for the next month, your job is go to planet, find specific orc who is causing extra problems, and be a surgical strike team.
Kill them, find the biggest one and kill it.
So,
Question: does Morrican finish his penance of what was it? It was a penance of something.
Did you actually write a value down? I didn't know.
I think you didn't tell us the number, so...
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't say the number because I don't know what the number is. But
Fair enough.
did he do it? With his pistol?
Well, could I get a ballistic skill from everyone, and could I get a weapon skill from everyone, please?
Okay. Any bonus dice at all?
As is.
Okay. That's for me and weapons.
Silas with the 8 successes. Look at his ballistics! Holy shit!
Oh God.
Okay.
Holy fuck, yeah. God damn.
So, in terms of ballistics, we have a 5 from Sergeant Tykar, we have an 8 from Apothecary Silas, we have a 4 from Morrican, and we have a 6 from soon-to-be Interrogator Chaplain Nephil. And in terms of weapons skill, Tykar gives us a 4, Silas gives us a 6, Morrican, wow, you are bad with melee. It's not surprising considering you carry a massive fucking gun.
Yeah.
Gives us a 2, and Nephir gives us a 5. Okay, so this is just detailing the next month or so of campaigning. We are going to hit a few moments in that time, but we are going to end on the end of that and a reassignment somewhere else. So, given that, there are a few things that stand out in the campaigns. In the battles. Apothecary Silas, in one of the engagements, essentially, in a reasonably similar scenario, except for it was a larger battlefield. The objective target, which was a fairly large, not quite as large, but fairly large war boss, decked out with like really snazzy guns that are just, like electricity, energy firing, like really weird orky shit, appeared on the battlefield as you were nearby, and the entire Astartes squad like rushed into the area. And as you were all kind of like pushing through this kind of like engagement to go at the war boss, Apothecary Silas just beans him right through the head, like from ages away as well. The advance still takes place because at that point it was of such a note in the squad, and you know what, almost in the chapter. Like this is in the future. This could be a kill. This could be a something of note even for the chapter to go down in the records.
That's
so
awesome.
your squad pushes all the way through just to claim the body of the orc so that they can essentially cut off a few trophies.
After I do that, I'm gonna look over at Morrican and be like, "That is how you kill a war boss."
And I just kind of, Morrican looks at his fucking bolt and goes, ah! And then just continues on.
So, Maraban.
Morrican, I am honing the weapon. I am sharpening your blade.
Yes, Captain Sergeant, I appreciate your, I thank you, Captain Sergeant. Just fucking, I'm so mad. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. He's such bullshit.
Captain Sergeant.
Yeah, he's just fucking all over the place.
Captain Sergeant. So, Apothecary Silas. It is the tradition of the Fidelis Angelus to adorn their pauldrons and chestplate with significant kills.
Yeah.
You may choose from this war boss something from the war boss to adorn as your first significant kill.
So, like, is it an image or is it like taking something off of him?
Picking something off of him. So you could go with like part of the skull. You could go with the skull's a bit big, but
I wanna like take out his like. They have like big like, they're big short
Yeah.
teeth, like
Yeah.
four big ones, and like put them on my
Straight for
shoulder,
the
like
wallet.
what?
Straight for the wallet.
Straight for the wallet. I don't
Right.
care about
Folk
the
money
wallet.
is teeth.
yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, is that what it is? Okay, and then just I want to like, yeah, put them on my armor like as a defensive. I mean, it looks like defensive, but it's really just a decoration because it's the thing that it would do. I mean, I haven't killed anything like this, and so it's just like, it's the like, Silas has been a little trying to prove himself because of his penance and everything like that. So it's just like that thing where it's like, yeah, I'm back on the Emperor's good grace kind of thing after all that other stuff. So
Making progress.
Adorned on the back of your pauldrons, so they're kind of like hung down a little bit behind you. I'd say they come to about the bottom of your shoulder blades, kind of like
okay,
with these kind of like gold and silver twists of chain, and then just hanging there are hollowed out orc warboss teeth from the warboss you killed.
okay,
That in battle, you fill them with this kind of like plant dust type thing, and it just secretes a little bit of purple smoke, like kind of just like it's got a good like
Shit.
kind of what's it called?
Is it incense?
It's similar to incense, yeah. It's used in rituals and imperial on your homeworld. It's a plant that just gives off like a nice kind of churchy feeling, kind of not actually religious, but just kind of like that little vibe of
Very sage-esque.
Yeah.
I mean, with the chains, you hear the chains like rattling around, and,
Yeah.
and then the purple dust coming out. Yeah, that's cool. I approve.
So feel free to make a note of that, because that is
Okay, cool.
that is an earned trophy, which obviously Sergeant Tykar and some of the other Marines do also have, but it in general it's only for a significant or very skilled kill. In this instance, the shot was definitely there.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
I figure that like Mariband's like always kind of in the back, so he's not. That's like all his rolls were pretty high because I think he's like taking his time. He's not like sitting there and like charging in like other Space Marines in the in the group. But
I wonder who.
I wonder.
So looking at the rest of the rolls, you all, aside from a few instances where Morrican just like, I would say, okay, let's have a look at the weapon skill quickly.
Because here's what I'm thinking is that Morrican is like, he's stuck in this fucking bolt pistol, and he's trying. He's actually trying.
Yeah.
He's talking to Ty because he's like, he's working with him, whatever, and he's like, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna take this seriously, right? But dude, it's just not clicking. Like he was made for a heavy bolter. That is what he does, and it's just like this ingrained thing that's like he's really struggling with it. Like it's not as heavy as he's used to, so his aim is just really aggressive, and like he's overcompensating for the amount of like kick because it doesn't have as much, like yeah, absolutely. this is like he just doesn't know how to handle this thing because it just doesn't work. It's not here with him. He's a heavy gunner guy, you know.
So I would say in a couple of engagements, there are moments in the melee, in the fight, where Morrican, like, you're not about to die, but you are at a disadvantage. You are being pressed, and you just can't get used. Like, you're a gunner. You're a good shot. Because you fire so much, inevitably you hit things.
Yep.
But like there are essences of combat where your brother is better than you. Your twin brother is better than you. He's more accurate. He can take a shot and hit a shot. The thing is, that bitch can't suppress. Like when your brothers, when your fellow Marines are advancing, you keep heads down. Like you keep them safe from return fire as they're advancing. You are the core of the squad when it comes to supporting an action.
And really, I have a good battle sense, so I'm like, I know when it's just like, okay, I've suppressed this area, but this area is going to start peaking soon.
Yes.
So kind of there, and then there, and then there. I just had this really good flow of the battle and stuff that's really good for allowing everybody to move forward.
And you know, Morrican in a lot of ways is a little impulsive, a little prone to like more passionate kind of like swings of mood than the majority of your fellow brothers. But aside from just being good within the support, like, you know things instinctually, like how much to squeeze off, how much to fire, and how to regulate your ammunition. So it's very rare in battle, when you are allowed your big shooty gun. It's very rare that you're going to run into a situation where you're not prepared for a sudden surge of enemy, or you know. However, having said all of that, you will find yourself at a disadvantage in this stupid melee business, and twice you have to be rescued, once by Sergeant Tykar and once by Brother Nephil.
Oh,
It is I would say not quite significant enough to be like soul destroying, but they don't make it. I'm guessing. Do either of you make a deal out of it?
I wouldn't rebuke him for it. He's
this is my
practicing.
punishment.
Yeah, he's practicing, and we have to pull the weight until he can get back and do what he's best at.
I mean, wouldn't his brother be the one really busting his balls? Like, maybe I feel like that would be the thing that would really drive in Morrican, is his brothers in his numbers, right?
His twin brother is now not really assigned with him. They were the heavy weapons team. They were basically heavy anti-personnel, heavy automatic fire, and punchy anti-vehicle. So a lot of the time, because they work well together in that regards, like they'd be assigned together in the squad. Now, whenever there's an anti-vehicle, Morrican is like running off to go do that. Like, he has racked up multiple vehicle kills, like dreadnoughts and like big troop transports and all that kind of stuff. Whereas Morrican is racking up kills, which we'll find out in a second, but it's not like what he usually does, and but okay, so let's find out how he does over this month of campaigning. Morrican specifically, would you please give me... Let's have a look here. Would you please give me 1 ballistic skills roll and 2 weapon skills roll?
Okay.
And
ballistic.
Okay. That's a
And
5.
Weapon skill.
2, please.
1 and 2.
Okay. That is enough.
Oh fuck. Okay. I don't know what enough was. What was it for?
So this was specifically for your goal, your objective, to hit a kill target.
Oh, okay.
So I will say I was gonna roll into something, but this seems appropriate, and it'll give me a second to go use the toilet. Let's have a moment of, after a heavy battle, when they are picked up and they leave the planet on the way to the next one. Murakan, you are aware that you've hit your target, your objective, and you have been called to present yourself to Sergeant Tykar.
So I basically go after a battle, and I've got my pistol, and it's there. Sir, you called for me. Sorry, they don't salute. They do this. Yeah. Yep. Sir, I've completed the assignment. It's been long and difficult. I've taken many wounds, and I've learned many lessons. Most of all, it's to understand that the weaponry that I have is more than just a weapon. It is part of me and should be respected as such. It's a tool, but it is also an extension of my power. It is an emperor's gift. It is a gift from the emperor, and to treat it any less than is a disrespect to myself, my company, and the chapter.
So I'm nodding along and, letting you get it out because you seem to have understood, like, how important your weapon is to you. And not like you didn't before, but now you really know your role and how important it is. And I reach out for your pistol. I hold my hand out.
And I kind of pick it up for a second and go, actually, would it be okay to keep this? I have this on sign as a reminder, and though I'm not the best with it, obviously, it's still good to remember that something like this can be just as important as something like my heavy bolter.
Yes, you may, Brother Morrigan. And I like slap you really hard on the shoulder as a proper brotherly bang. Like, that old brother, he gets it. He finally gets it.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Please report to Brother Dathian for your weapon.
Right away, sir. Thank you. And yeah, he kind of strolls off and he maglocks it to his side there, and just he doesn't really have much ammo. He doesn't really keep much ammo for it, but it's like it's got a bag or two, and yeah, he's also just thinking like, holy fuck, I'm never dropping my heavy bolter again. I have so many fucking wounds. Like, I've just gotten my shit rocked so many fucking times. I had to be saved 3 times total. Like, first engagement, and then you guys, like, oh my God. Like, it's just constantly like, oh, fuck. You know what? Actually, while he's going to the bathroom, Marcon would have gone to Nafir.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say this can happen chronologically before or after. It doesn't really matter. But he would have had a conversation with you at one point, and he would have probably just been like, Brother Nafir, do you have a moment?
Always, Brother Morrigan. How can I help?
I have a question. A place of We are extensions of the Emperor's fury. We are weapons for the Imperium. That is our existence, and it will forever be our existence. And I accept and appreciate and know my spot in this world. But if I am a weapon and I can't do what we do without a bolter or a certain weapon, I am less effective with certain weapons. Am I truly a weapon worthy of the Astartes name in the Imperium? And Morkan's really struggling right now. You know, he's just
the number that Tykar would have said, Peachy, would it have been like a number of kills with a pistol that is ridiculous? For that?
No,
like,
it wouldn't have been ridiculous. It would have been a trial. Like, it wouldn't have been easy, but it wouldn't have been like, oh, you are going to fail this and I'll make sure. It was not that at all.
Challenging but realistic.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but also we definitely need strong mastery of that weapon for sure. Yeah. Now, I think you're very strong, Brother Morrigan, and your skill with your heavy weaponry is truly, truly outstanding. Don't let that bright light outshine your skill with a pistol. To be as effective as you were with but a pistol, I think you underestimate yourself.
I just worry that I'm incomplete. I am a weapon, but I am a singular focused weapon. I am not a tool to be used in a multitude, a variety of ways. I feel as though that if I am simply put in the wrong circumstances, then I'm useless. I'm so narrow that I can't adapt. And if I were to lose the things around me that I am proficient at and aware of and brother, I wish to be as strong and as useful as the stories of the Astartes say. I see weakness in myself and know that if I don't have every element around me that I know and am proficient with, I falter. And on the chapter's name and my name and our Gene Sire's name, I can't live with that.
It's a good thing you're not alone then. You're not a lone singular weapon in reality. Part of a team. With a leader who would make sure that you have all the skills and tools you need to be effective. Brother Sergeant Tykar is a brilliant man. And
we're lucky to have him.
I had heard of your deeds and skills before we went on this latest mission, Brother Morrigan.
Really?
And I have seen you in battle. I have seen your love for the greatest form of worship we can give to the Emperor. You have what you need. Except perhaps a little more faith in yourself and the gifts you've been given, your squad. We can always grow stronger, but don't let your weaknesses blind you to your strength.
Thank you, Brother Nefir. I think you're going to make an incredible chaplain.
I will discharge my duty, above all else, in service of the Emperor.
And Morkan does, you know what? No, he does the full Aquila, you know, and he does the full Aquila, and then he goes, well, thank you. I have to go talk to Brother Datian.
Perhaps for your weapon, you could think about a sling, perhaps a hook on your armor. You could.
It Morkan's just like straight up like, yeah,
Just
yeah. Maybe I'll talk to Brother Datian about that. Some sort of securing device that's more effective than my hand.
Practice your reloading over so you can be more efficient and never need to put it down, really.
It's a good idea. Okay. And Morkan's like, yeah. Okay, all right. All right, I'm gonna go talk to him. Thank you so much for your guidance, Brother Nefir.
Thank you for trusting me with your worries.
And Mordecai fucking like, he's just like, yeah, a strap, some hooks. We got this. And he's just like, he's just got a little bit more pep in his step. And he goes to Brother Datian and he reports there to get his bolter back.
Brother Datian is nearly always in downtime found in his, essentially, let's call it a workshop. There are multiple scurrying servants who are moving things around, transporting things, bringing things up to him, and he is hunched over a large like workbench area, and there's like sparks and there's mechanical noises. I'm explaining this because Morrican's the one walking in. He doesn't understand any of this shit. So when you walk in, one of the mechadendrites coming out of his back that has been like moving around suddenly like goes up and like full Doc Ock just like spins around to look at you. And
is there even an eyepiece in that? Is there even like a camera?
Who knows? And Brother Datian says,
Brother Ottar, are you here to deface more of the Imperium's technological wonders?
I deserve that. No, I'm not. I served my penance given to me by the brother sergeant. I'm sorry. I know how much you take care of these weapons. I know how much pride that you have in the care and the pristine nature of our weapons, and how much effort it takes to deal with some of us. Okay, I'll say it to me, because of how much I request for my weapons. I only do it in the Emperor's name. I do it for our chapter, for our Gene Sire, for our company, for you. But sometimes I can be a bit overzealous in my desire for worship of the God Emperor himself. I was thinking about a hook or a strap. How do you think? Maybe this would help. I don't mean to deface the property anymore. I want to be careful and appreciative of the weapons that make me so effective at what I do.
I have adjusted the weapon with a magnetized strip that will stick to your armor.
Oh, That'll work too.
I have set a security code that I will give to Sergeant Tykar so that he may allow the release of your weapon. Aside from those times, you will be attached to your weapon from the minute you put on your armor.
And Morgan goes, okay. Morgan has no idea why he's giving him the code, but it doesn't. It just, smart. I understand. That's good. Okay.
This is the most efficient way I can devise to ensure that the same experience does not happen again.
I understand. I appreciate the service you've done to this weapon and to myself. I apologize again, but I hope that my efficacy, and that really hurt more kind of say, efficacy in battle is enough to show you how much more effective I'll be with your improvements to my weaponry. Morgan's fucking trying. He's trying so hard right now.
Brother Ottar, I am appreciative of your well-honed skills in battle. Your ability with your weapon to destroy the enemy is unfounded. My only complaint or concern is the lack of honing of your mental abilities.
Well, I suppose I should probably work on that too. I did just go through an entire penance of killing greenskins with a bolt pistol. So I suppose there's more to it than that. And it's using this gift from the Emperor, not just this. Thank you for your work, and I'll take better care of it.
If possible, I will keep my eyes out for anything that could allow the reworking of neural pathways that would allow you to repurpose your brain to be more effective.
Okay, you let me know. That sounds great. Morgan's head is like, what? The fuck did he just say? Okay, thank you. I have to go continue my training, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, we are done.
Goodbye. And he just fucking thinking to himself, what the fuck was half of what he just said? All right, I got my gun back. We're good.
Did I just sign up for a timeshare?
Neural pathways. He's like, you could do that?
The hell is a neural pathway? How do you walk through it? So the camera slides through the ship, through the gothic hallways and corridors, to the medical area, where Maraban, you're working on Lazriel. He seems a little bit down. He seems a little bit. Let's say that he's quiet, and he hasn't been talking very much. He's been here a couple of times since the battle, so this is reasonably early on through the month. And you are just basically doing a mix of checking on him and refixing. Essentially, the internal injuries he has were never life-threatening. The problem is that they kind of exacerbate. He like all Astartes, he refuses to break, to like let time to heal. He can kind of like firm through this easy enough. It's just you have to keep maintaining the healing, because it reopens and like it doesn't heal as quickly because he keeps making it worse, basically.
Yeah. I'll be like, Brother Lazriel, if you would take a step back for a mission or two, you would heal fully, and you would not have to keep seeing me here. You are only hindering yourself and your brothers not being at full strength.
Apothecary, I appreciate the intent of your words, but I can operate as efficiently as I ever can. I can work through the discomfort and still maintain full battle efficiency.
Yes, but do you see your brothers having to come in here and get adjusted? And I would say the word fixed because it continues to happen in the same fashion. Even Morkan did not need to keep coming back here after his injuries. I think that perhaps your sense of duty may be overriding your sense of self-preservation. And I know self-preservation is not what's most important to you. It's the Emperor and our mission. But if you get injured again, have to be fixed during battle, perhaps the orcs smash next time will leave the Emperor with one less warrior.
And at that, Lazriel's hand like reaches out and like grasps your shoulder as you're kind of like working on him. So
Yeah.
probably you get like a little bit jostled, and like you're kind of like it's a strange scene because you're giving him this speech while you're also digging into his insides, and he's just
Yeah.
lying there like, and you're having a chat. But his hand like goes down to your shoulder. You feel the grip, and he says, Maravan, I failed. One second. I keep forgetting the name of the planet. I failed on Harkton when I was thrown aside by that war boss like a child. I failed the Emperor, I failed our chapter, and I failed our Primarch. And I would rather run myself into nothing but gristle and bone than step back now. I will die before I allow another dishonor on my name.
Brother, if anyone in this squad knows about dishonor, it is me. I made an error and allowed a gene seed to escape, we didn't retrieve it. One of the greatest errors you can make. And yet I am still here. I am still working with the squad. I'm still doing the Emperor's wishes. But I tell you that you getting killed or you trying to overcompensate for something that happened to not just you, Orc war bosses are not a joke. Yes, we can destroy them. Taika has shown us that. Many others. I've done this myself. But without proper analyzation of the situation, you may not be able to keep going. I do not say I do not want you to wish to keep going and stopping. I'm just telling you that as an apothecary, taking a step back for a day, probably a day or so, would probably give you enough strength to recover. Just stepping back and letting your body heal, it would not dishonor the Emperor. It would not dishonor your brothers. It would show them that you were concerned not only about yourself, but your entire squad.
Maraban, brother, my job, my purpose is to kill and die for the Emperor and the Imperium and our Primarch. Your job is to keep me together enough to do it. And I intend to etch my name on the chapter's history. And at this moment, Scout Sergeant Scout Sergeant Enkadil walks in and says, Apothecary, I trained this one. He has a stubborn streak that I do not think you'll be able to penetrate.
I've noticed he continues to throw himself into battle at not optimal form. If this had been the first time he had come back, I might disagree, but this is the third or fourth time I've had to put him back together.
And the Scout Sergeant pats you on the back softly and says, patch him up, Silas. I'll keep an eye on him on the battlefield and make sure he doesn't fall apart. You keep an eye on him on the ship and make sure he doesn't tear himself apart.
I will do my best, brother.
And the scene fades away as we move to question for Sergeant Tykar. Where would you be just in general? Quarters, kind of office type area,
If I'm not, I'd usually be on the bridge looking for, looking through all radio calls we've had and if we've got any information. But mostly, I would, I'd either be in my office room on the ship, or I would be training in the sparring room for the most part.
Well, let's probably this probably wouldn't happen while you're training. So let's say while on fairly far through the month, you are visited by Commander Debral.
Raul is the
Ship commander.
Ship mistress. She's the ship mistress, isn't she?
Ship mistress,
I remember.
yes.
Debral. Alistair got it.
And she's announced by one of the chapter serfs, servants, basically. And within a couple of minutes, she has given you the Aquila and is standing at attention at your desk. And she says, Lord Tykar.
Yes, ship mistress.
I have been contacted by the chapter to let us know of a new assignment in a different sector area. I thought I should inform you that we will be changing course as there is a outbreak of the gene stealers in this new sector. Specifically the planet of Yavian.
How long will our journey take?
A week at most, sir.
Good, thank you.
I also wanted to have a quick word with you, as we haven't had the opportunity, sir, to talk about the lack of air support on missions.
Ship mistress, this is your ship. Please be at ease. You can speak.
And she, it's that military thing where it's at ease, and they go from being completely at attention to semi, not even relaxed, but just
Still
not,
rigid.
Yeah, not as
Your shoulders go back a little bit.
It goes from
down a little bit.
it goes from to
Yeah.
and she says, As you know, I'm not aware of the details of this mission. However, I am accustomed to these type of forays. In this instance, we have not been assigned as much air support as usually you would expect. Therefore, because we are ostensibly lending assistance to the Imperium, I must also lend assistance in battlefields. Therefore, I am unable to send you the air support that might be required for you to maintain our to maintain what we are trying to accomplish. And I'll say this, like, you haven't worked with this particular ship mistress before, but the majority for this chapter, the majority of ship commanders are used to and have heard stories of instances where the chapter has been sent out with I'm not going to say cover story, but you know what I mean, like on these type of missions, and they're very aware that there's always extra objectives and extra things that they're not told about. So it doesn't really faze them when it's like, hey, you're supposed to be carrying an entire company, but you only have 1 or 2 squads.
And she's apologizing that she can't supply me with air support.
Yes. Essentially, because you are fronting as an entire company helping out on the battlefield, the air support has to go to the planet or the Imperial forces where they're best utilized. Generally speaking, because you guys are a strike squad, you go to very small specific areas where there's something that needs to be done. Whereas, like with the first mission with the Orc War boss, taking out that Orc War boss is important, but the entire hive was under siege from orcs, and having air support there does a lot more good than for you guys.
I understand my mission. I require no apologies from you.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't prioritizing the Imperial worlds we visit over yourself by choice, sir.
You are doing your duty. Well, there isn't any to apologize.
Yes, sir. I was also wanted to make the suggestion that we have a code word to signify the shift of priorities, sir, from the current campaign we are on to a new objective.
I see. Yes. We should call our other missions Salvation.
Yes, sir. I was thinking the code word to designate the switch could be the forest walks.
I long to see the forest walk again.
Yes, sir.
As you say.
Very well, sir. I hope you have been well cared for on this ship so far, and if there are any issues, you know where to find me, sir.
Of course. Thank you.
The Aquila, and she leaves. You have the thing that you commissioned or asked for on your desk, just as a sidebar.
Ah, right. I will go over ship cons.
Okay.
Brother Morrican, I require your assistance in my office.
Morkan is like, he's probably actually just like maintaining. Well, does he have his bolter, or is it in just?
You have your heavy bolter now.
Okay.
If you're been training and are in your armor, it is child locked to you.
can't remove it. I don't think that's a punishment to him.
No. The people who have the people who have the code are Tykar, Nephir, and the Scout Sergeant.
Got it. That's fucking amazing. I would say he is he doing that? Yeah, I would say yeah. He's training and like kind of like either he's actually doing like gun training or he's like doing disassembly and like reassembly or it wouldn't be that. He wouldn't be doing that. That's not his role. He would be cleaning it. Just be caring for it essentially. And then he would hear that and he'd go, what? Like it actually is. I'm gonna assume like Morakil's probably in the room because they're inseparable for the most part. He'd just look over at Morakil and go, did he mean you?
I think he meant you.
What could he need my help with? Okay. And then Morkin's gonna try to give the heavy bolter to Morakil, and he's like, could you do me a favor and return this back to Tech Marine Datian? And he kind of does that and he goes zoom right back on. He goes, never mind then.
You can't remove it, and I do not have the code.
I understand why he said that he gave the code to the captain now. Okay, I'm gonna go help him. And then Morgan just fucking
and
bounces.
then you
He's
like start through the
Yep. And then trying to think like how is it on his body? It's a huge gun.
It's kind of like diagonally like on the chest plate.
Oh, okay.
So like it doesn't get in the way of the arms or anything, and like if needed, it's just basically like a boop 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 boop.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. Cool. So he's gonna walk with this fucking heavy bolter on his chest, because he's not gonna take his armor off before he gets to where are you at? Are you on the bridge?
I was in my office.
Okay. So,
I guess it's the war room because we probably have meetings.
Sure.
Yeah.
Monica, and I get to the door and so you probably already know I'm there just by blink checking in, like on our HUDs or whatever. And I'm
before you like go to push the button, I just say
enter.
Brother Sergeant, you required my assistance.
Brother Morrican. And I like look at his gun. It looks like he's been like full on maintaining his gun.
Yeah.
Not just like, I better shine it up so it looks nice. Like properly, like this gun is in peak performance right now.
Yeah.
I noticed that and I take it in. I have a box, a large box. It looks like a wooden box. It's probably made of pine, which doesn't sound fancy, but it's made of pine.
That's really fancy for. We don't have like wooden things very often, right? I don't know.
On occasion.
No? Okay. All right.
This box looks like a fucking relic.
Okay. Got it.
And I place it down on the middle of the table in the war room. And I put my hand on your shoulder. I don't say anything. And I silently leave.
So just standing there like checking like his like HUD to see if he sent me any messages.
The box is like smack bang in the middle between like on the table, like pointing at you.
Okay, so I'm not going to do the full thing, but because of timing, Morrican would have stood there, unmoving, maybe like looking around or something like that occasionally for upwards of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Just I don't and it kind of occurs, he put a hand on my shoulder.
He didn't seem angry, if that helps.
He didn't seem angry. I'm not in trouble. I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to do, and there's nothing in here, and there's no messages. And
did you remember
This
your
room
homework?
is probably Spartan. It's the war room. There's only stuff in here.
yeah.
It's pretty bad.
And Markan goes, kind of thinking internally, like, I'm gonna open it, but I'm still pretty convinced I'm gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I gotta.
That's the risk Morrican takes every day he wakes up. Where he's I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get in trouble, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, it's just. And he kind of leans forward and it's very slowly, like, kind of.
As you slide open the box, I hate to say this, but PG, what's in the box?
So it's
In the box.
So Brother Datian asked you for your pistol for repairs,
Mm.
and it kind of looks like your pistol, but the frame is being painted completely red, and there is a scroll inlaid on the side, and written into the scroll it says, "We are the tools of the Emperor, and we distinguish this by our deeds."
That's fucking metal as shit. So it just kind of clicks, like, oh fuck. And so he pulls out his pistol, and he sets it to the side. Yeah, he sets it. You know what? No, he doesn't set it to the side. He pulls the other one out and sets the other old one in the box and puts the lid back on. And he holds the bolt pistol and he looks at it and he's just like, holy shit. Like this is a tiny little pea shooter, but it's the best pea shooter I will ever have. This is fucking awesome, and like, it just reaffirms his lessons he's learned. It shows that, like, no, you did right. You did it right. Like, you attempted to repair a situation the best you could. You gave it your all and you did it right. Like, you still fucked up, but you can recover. Sometimes mistakes aren't the defining factor of us. It's actually how we recover from that. And he's just like, cool. Like, I'm gonna go rub this in Morkill's face, and he clacks it on his face. That's awesome.
I could just see if he'd have like taken the bolter, the heavy bolter off, like hit him like running through the hallways to show off to his brother, and like there's like a kind of like slide away from that image, and you just hear this like zoom, click, and like a damn it, and then he like head hung sadly walking in, being like, look brother, I got a pin, and he like points to his chest. It's like stuck to his chest.
I'm just a gun magnet.
Like in an alternate comedy version of Fallen, it's the entire show is just Morrican getting stuck to metal things all over the place. It's like,
the end of every episode, Brother Nafi is like, Morrican!
I'm like stuck to the ceiling, like, ah!
there's just a like announcement over the ship by the tech marine, which is like by Datian, that's just like,
Sergeant Tykar, Brother Morrican is stuck to the wall again. Brother Morrican is stuck to the wall again.
Necron's pinning him to the wall. And
Can we mod Katamari into this? Or it's just... He's just rolling up everything in the galaxy.
The biggest plot twist ever. It's actually just Katamari featuring Broken.
Oh my god.
So,
And by the way, just one other thing, I would not have sent a message to Brother Sergeant, to Tekar. I would not have done that.
yeah.
I would have waited in person to basically, it'd be a very subtle thing, but it's like a very, like, I would have had the weapon on me, and I would have been like an acknowledgement. Like, there's gonna be a nod at some point of just like maybe, you know, the Brother Sergeant would look to the weapon and me, and I would have like nodded at him or something like that. Very subtle, because I don't feel like the Brother Sergeant is like, he's not really one for like, oh, thank you, you're the best, blah, blah, blah. He's not interested in any of that shit. Like, it's
A
very
nod of
subtle.
understanding.
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah.
So, these are all things that happen over the month of campaigning against the Greenskins, against the Orcs in the sector. As the ship commander, the ship mistress mentioned to the sergeant, they have been reassigned to an area where there is a gene stealer cult fermenting on a planet. Apparently in the early stages of fermenting. It takes a week or so to get there, and you are essentially on your way to help them wipe out the pockets of gene stealers before they can get big enough to send out essentially like a smoke signal, basically saying like, "Hey, come fuck this planet up, fellow Tyranids." I just got the image of like an Imperial guard with like skateboard on his shoulder. He's like, "Hello, fellow Tyranids." Oh, dearie me.
You know, I'm somewhat of a heretic myself.
But yes, so we will move over to there it is. The classic.
God, can anybody listen to all the viewers out here, live or recorded? If there's something we could ask of you, aside from your monetary assistance to making this show and many like it happen, it is one thing. A meme picture of the Imperial Guard as the dude with the skateboard going, "Hello, fellow Tyranids."
If
I would be very appreciative and tweeted at the Wandering Inn.
If that is made, I will make it the tweet for next going.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yes, as we fade away from the ship, going through the warp, we fade back in on a planet at war, and specifically a regiment of Imperial Guards, or a section of a regiment of Imperial Guards, sieging down a big kind of office block building. Goes really high. It appears to be in a hive. And they are hunkered down behind plasteel barriers. Like, the vibe you get from this scene of like Imperial, and these are proper Imperial Guardsmen. They're not PDF. Although the majority of them, aside from, you can kind of pick out the officers, because the officers have this like this uniform of like gold and white with like gold frogging, you know, like tassels and etc. And
This is for the Imperial Guard?
yes,
Have
for the
that?
Imperial Guard.
Wow. Okay.
And they have the gold tassels, and they look very fine. The rest of the Imperial Guardsmen look like they picked up whatever they can find and just like shoved it onto bits of them. They're very unkempt, but professional enough, I guess. They seem to be very used to this style of fighting, kind of like guerrilla-ish warfare, where you don't make much advances, but you don't make many advances, but you essentially exchange fire, you hold the position, you wait them out, you occasionally, make a little strike type advance, things like that.
Sorry, this is just a really cool image of the idea that the Imperial Guard, which is not a guerrilla warfare group, it's a meat grinder.
Well,
and
depends on the regiment.
You're very right,
Yeah.
which is why this is cool, because normally you think of just fucking send in bodies,
Yeah.
and having the Imperial Guard actually be more guerrilla and dug in and yeah, this is cool. I like this. This is cool imagery.
And as it seems like they have been engaged with this building for a while. And as they are exchanging intermittent fire, there doesn't seem to be anything too heavy on either side either at the current time. Either they've destroyed each other's heavy weapons or they never had them to begin with. The camera swings away from frantic officers trying to reorganize the men, move them to different, more effective positions. The officers seem like very stressed, like bags under their eyes, and kind of running around doing everything. Maybe there's not enough of them. And one of the regular troopers in this kind of very grubby fatigues, and one sleeve is missing and the other has patches on it, comes up and salutes and is saying something to him, and he suddenly turns around to look away from the building, down the street. And down the street is walking the angels of the Fidelis Angelus.
Yeah.
Walking in essentially almost like a chevron formation, with Sergeant Tykar at the front and the rest kind of spread out behind in this cinematically it is literally like superhero walk, all of them in a line. Yeah. And we see the Imperial Guard officer, essentially his eyes widen, it almost in panic, but also in kind of oh thank fuck we're saved. And he hurries, as dignified as he can. He hurries a little bit down the road towards these advancing Astartes. Makes the sign of the Aquila before they're even anywhere close, and just stands at full attention, waiting for them. It probably takes about a minute for you to get up to kind of talking distance.
What rank is this officer?
Colonel.
Colonel. Ooh. Okay, this is a big fight. Yeah, when we eventually get there, and we're within talking distance, not down the street, when we're within talking distance.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I probably wouldn't give the Aquila because it's combat situation now, so I'd pound the Aquila. Colonel.
Lord Astartes.
We're the fourth company of the Fidelis Angelus. And may we serve the Emperor today.
Still holding the sign of the Aquila, he says, Colonel Galen Griss of the Pegasi Guard.
Have I ever heard of the Pegasi Guard?
Are you talking about your character or you?
Yeah, my character.
Your character has not. You have. You were their commander in Charlie Foxtrot.
Oh! I remember that.
Is this your other show that you?
So this is a show I did 3 or 4 years ago. And Peachy was the commander of the Pegasi Guard, which is these guys.
Oh,
Look,
cool.
mirror.
You remember they had the like white and gold frogging on the
I
officers?
remember now. I think
So-
I made the same Rimmer joke then.
Yeah, you did. You did. So
Peachy making the same joke.
we won't go too deep into the lore, but they are a fun regiment, and I wanted a little nod to them in this. Essentially, the Pegasi Guard they were supposed to be raised as a shrine world, you know, like a super religious, like temples and love the emperor. There was an administratum error, and accidentally they got raised on a penal world. So
What?
So Peachy's character, who is from an imperial, like loyal, like, upstanding imperial citizen, like super upper class, turned up to find an entire penal world instead of a shrine world, and like the officer, the like white with gold frogging and like super smart uniforms and everything, was for that shrine world. But before the commander got there, they swapped everything for like drugs and food and drink and everything. So they don't have an official uniform. They traded away most of their weapons by the time he got there. They are decent soldiers, but they are criminals, and they do steal shit and like a whole load of craziness.
That's amazing. I love that.
oh.
So they're not. So we're not on that penal world anymore, though. This is they've been reassigned.
They've been campaigning around.
Okay.
The only other feature of the Pegasi Guard is they only have one commissar. His name is Commissar Friendly. He is
I don't know about that.
he is about the same size as the war boss. Not really, but close to. Like, he's a big, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Holy fuck.
He's like, and the only reason they have one commissar is because he's the only one they couldn't kill, and he now acts as essentially like the matron to the whole regiment. And every time they have to go to battle, he wanders around the ship where they're trying to hide as he hunts them down like a fucking alien. And he knocks them out and drags them to the landing crafts to make them go to battle.
God, that's amazing.
That's a fucked up game of hide and seek, man. Oh,
Yes.
man.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We had a little super chat which someone guessed the answer, but that's cool.
Yeah, well done, Angry Potato. I saw that. And how do you pronounce it again?
It's Pegasi Guard.
Pegasi Guard. Okay.
Yeah, even their name is like super, like kind of fancy, and look, we're so up. Yeah, they're just. Yeah.
And
Oops,
they
you're
look
on
like
a prison world.
They look like a bunch of guys who are out playing paintball on the weekend.
Oh, 100%, yeah. And the colonel says, did you give your name, Tykar? I think you said
yes,
Sergeant
let's say-
Tykar of the
Yes, let's say I did.
Fidelis Angelus.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Yep.
We have been engaged for around a month, sir, on Lord, on this trying to penetrate this building. If you are able to assault it, we will gladly provide backup.
Well, as much as I would love all that backup. This is the Gene Stealer mission, right? That we got to.
Yeah.
So I look around the soldiers he's got around him, and they're playing cards, and none of them are in uniform apart from the officers. I like, to a space marine, it feels like an age before I think of what to say next, but probably to a human, it's fine and level and
Yeah.
everything.
Taking quick stock.
Let's see. Set up a defensive line. Me and my brothers will execute a plan.
Yes, Lord. And immediately turns and goes, right. What I can give you from, like, the character's perspective, the officers seem to be efficient and fairly competent. A little bit paranoid, and, like, there's, like, a slight hint of tentativeness when they're giving orders. I assume because there are probably quite a few officers who at this point have been killed just by laying their guard down. But the officers at the very least seem competent.
Okay. Yeah, well, sometimes you need to amass people and put them in the right place, and that can, that can do a world of good.
Yeah. So, there is a...
I'll get everyone to arrange a beachhead so we can see the battlefield and figure out what we need to do next. Now we've actually seen it.
Well,
through satellite vids.
So, essentially the objective here, what you need to do, and I can give you this as well because the scout sergeant has done a little scouting and assessed the situation without engaging with the Imperial Guard at all. Okay. You are essentially facing a multi-level, lots of defensible windows and things like that where you can shoot out of, kind of office building, kind of built into the rest of the city. You have multiple, kind of like a T section, but with a few extra. So it's like a semicircle of roads spreading out from this kind of like flat line.
Right.
So you got like building, road kind of going past the horizontal to the building, and then multiple roads going out away from the building like that. And yeah, it's essentially, unless they've been holding back anything heavy duty, it's a pretty simple, assault. The objective is just to clear out building. So.
Okay. Is there any building on the other side of the road facing the building where they're held up?
There are a couple of like smallish buildings, but this whole kind of area is mostly either rubble or like barricades, sandbags, etc.
Okay, well, first I would order the heavy weapons guys to set up line of sight and cover the building.
As a sidebar, in any situation like this where you're in battle or going into battle, it is assumed that the child lock has been taken off the heavy bolter.
Let's fucking go!
Yeah, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you didn't take the marker this one. It's already done.
It's party time.
Back to using your pistol again.
Is Cassian? Is he like? He's a scout. He's in scout armor. He's not in like Reaver armor or anything like that. Right?
No, he's in scout armor.
Yeah. Okay. He'll probably be back. Line of sight with heavy weapons. I would arrange for a strike squad out of our squad, maybe 4 Space Marines, led by Nafir, backed up by Silas, because it could be dangerous entering a building. And I would order them to take the lobby so we can move in and see what the building is before we, I don't know, reduce it to rubble, storm it floor by floor.
Okay.
Well, I want some more intel actually in the building with soldiers in there.
Okay. So who's going in?
So it would be Nafir would be leading the squad, Silas would be backup, and is it Arcorian?
Yes. Arcorian.
I would need Datian here, so they probably need melee as well, so Lazriel,
Arcorian.
Is he up to full strength now?
Yeah, pretty much.
I haven't had reports of him not being. Yeah, then he would go in as basically take the ground floor.
Okay.
That's what I would have thought.
All right, yeah.
So,
I will wait until I get a nod from the scout sergeant saying to go, or if Morrican's going to lay down, get away from the windows, fire across the front of the building, then, as soon as I get my sign.
Basically, what the heavy weapons would do is Markeel would just melt a hole in the side of the building to start.
Yeah.
He'd just send one over there.
Oh, yeah, big
And
ball of plasma just flies straight at the front doors and just blasts a hole in there.
And the goal of that is to get all of them to peek out.
Right.
So it's going to hit in there, and immediately they're going to go, what the fuck was that? And they're all going to pop up, and that's when I come in, and I just go, and like lay down and suppress. So it's like a twofold suppress. It's to get them to look, and then get them to go way down and stay down. And then you guys are clear.
Essentially like the reverse perspective of Arnie in Terminator 2 with the minigun like firing at yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Isn't this is Space Die Hard at this point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nakatomi Tower.
Yeah.
Get to the
Oh my
tower.
God, it's Nakatomi Tower, but the 40K.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So in that case, Brother Nephir, you are in position close by the exit of one of these streets, ready to essentially move up with Brother Arcorian and Brother Lazriel. And at a signal from the sergeant, Morakil like slides out of cover, and you hear this like bzz, 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 and then as this big like kind of like a ball of plasma with little crackles coming off it like flies across the street. Like the light of it like lights up the building for a second before it just like blasts a hole through the doors and everything. And there's still a little bit of fire happening, like exchanging of fire between everyone, but it's mostly quite calm. So this leaves like a half second, a second of like kind of chill quiet before Morakan, would you like to highlight your like stepping out and opening fire?
Right.
Oh no, yeah, that's
No waiting on the battlefield, brother.
I'm sorry.
sustenance is weak.
Or maybe get the sub sandwich of repentance.
The corpse starch is just too good. I gotta have more. Okay, yeah. I mean, Morkiel just melts a hole through, and then as soon as he does that, like Morkan swings around with a heavy bolter. He's got it ready to go, and as soon as it impacts and people start firing back,
Yeah.
like the second that the first shot hits and he can see their heads appear, he just gives it a and just and he kind of just like clears a fucking path on their heads. And if you can imagine like the ground floor or wherever we are, the windows on the sides there's like a ledge, right? Like even look at my window right there, right? There's a ledge here where everybody's against, and then there's the actual opening of the window.
Yeah.
And they're shooting out the window, but they're leaning down. I want to be able to just cut a fucking swath across right here
Oh,
in
yeah.
every spot. And I want them to get down because I'm not sure if the bolter can penetrate whatever the outside of the building is to get in to hit them behind, but I know for damn sure if they can shoot out, I can shoot in.
Yeah.
So I aim right for that spot and they sit the fuck down. I'm popping heads left and right too, but there's a lot of gene stealers out there. There's a lot of enemies out there.
As a sidebar, they are cultists, gene stealer cult. So the majority, they are like slightly pinky, purpley humans. Some of them have like multiple arms and like some like gene stealery mutation stuff, but they still look human enough.
Right.
Which
They got those like ridges and stuff going on there.
yes,
a
some
little
of
bit elongated
but
heads.
some of them look pretty human as well. So.
Yep.
And
Yeah, just cut a path across and just pop it ahead occasionally, but everyone. I mean, it's like boom, shoot, burn, and then
Yeah, and it's
for
like
a second. And then I'm just like, go!
and you're leading the assault, Brother Nephir, so yes, at the second that go is said, these three Marines who are kind of like standing there at attention, ready, just the second go hits, they're like, and three of them just charge straight at this opening in the door. The big kind of like still dripping hole of, you know, like little bits of plasma and molten metal like dripping, and you run. A couple of like auto guns maybe clatter harmlessly off your armor as you like pound across this street and up these little stairs and like just surge into the building. As you like surge into the building, there is a one like, it looks like maybe he has an extra arm, like a bit pinky, like we said before, a few ridges, like kind of swings around the corner and like sees, and then desperately like goes for his gun, and brother Lazriel, like you hear the of his chainsword like firing up, and he like picks up the speed a little bit just to like move ahead of both of you through the pack, and you just hear this like rending tear as he like almost like hitting something with a bat. He just kind of goes like this, vroom, and he like lays into this what looks like a possibly former PDF, or maybe just a person. It's hard to tell, or like former Imperial citizen. As he like swings through them, they get lifted up into the air and split in midair, and both sides of the body just go flying like up into the ceiling and like smash.
Word of the day, chat. Bifurcated.
As we head in and we're clearing out the initial people, Lazriel, find ways to get upstairs.
Yes, brother.
Secure them and hold your position. And I look to our Corian. We will cleanse this place.
Yes, brother.
And then we begin to start clearing the first floor.
Yeah, and you kind of like move forward with our Corian, and essentially like just. Will you allow me to embellish for a second?
Yeah, go for it. I was just imagining like the old on-rail shooters,
Yeah.
where people just pop up and we're just obliterating them as we're walking through this place. Just like
What are you using at the moment? Are you going like full bolter, or did you take something more melee for this?
Yeah, I think because this is closer quarters, just to have shorter length, I probably went back to pistol and combat knife.
You can go like chainsword or something along those lines as well if you want.
The pistol and knife.
Pistol and
is
knife is pretty classic.
it's my preference for the very close.
All right. In that case, as you and Brother Akorian like move forward towards like a few hallways and stuff spreading out, I'm also assuming you essentially radio back to the sergeant and say breached and cleared, and you can move in, kind of thing. So first up, Sergeant Tykar, are you moving everyone in? Or
I would move in. I would keep Mora Keel on the high ground to get line of sight, but we're going to need heavy weapons to move forward. So Morakan would actually be with the rest of the group who goes in as soon as we get Brother Nafir tells us it's clear.
All right. In that case, you all start to move up. Again, very small amount of fire. You probably hear a couple of cries of "They're bringing Astartes" or "Here they come," that type of thing. A couple of bits of pings off your armor, but again, nothing particularly dangerous.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
When hearing they're coming, they're bringing Astartes.
Yeah.
Is the tonality fear or is it excitement? Like, what is their, like, how are they saying this? Like they're bringing Astartes versus like there's Astartes. Like,
I would say it's not excited. It's definitely cautious and possibly kind of like worried, I would say, at best.
okay, so it's it would be a standard reaction that we're used to when it comes to other humans having to fight us.
It's similar. It's similar.
Okay. Just wanted to check.
Yeah. And yeah, the camera, as you are all making your way in, like there's a little, you fire a little bit, but there's not too much needed, and you get into the into the little lobby area and start spreading out to move. As Brother Nephir and Alcorian have gone a little bit ahead, we switch to camera slides to a room where there is like multiple pinky purple humans who are a little distorted, a little disfigured. They have like auto pistols and auto guns, even a couple of las guns that look like they've been nicked off like an Imperial guardsman or maybe a PDF. And they're all hearing this like goof, 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 you know, like these heavy footsteps and this fire slowly coming closer towards them. Maybe even a couple of screams or like exclamations of like, there they are! And they all, about 8 or 9 of them, have their guns trained at this door, which they're just waiting for it to open. And there's a kind of like goof, 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 and then silence. And they all, like, you know, very focused, just staring at this door, waiting for it to open so they can make their last stand, so they can hopefully take down an Astartes with them. And that's the moment that Brother Nephir walks through the wall next to them. And just goes, gush, 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 and like, they just explode in bolt gun fire, like
That's so awesome.
heads disappearing, bodies disappearing. They barely have time to respond as Brother Nephir jumps in towards one of them and slams his knife like right down into the top of another one's head. Brother Alcorian walks in behind him and starts shooting the last couple. And
I just imagine him stabbing that knife into the top of the head, and the blow is so powerful that his hand doesn't stop when it hits the hilt. And it punches his head into his
yeah, it like the head like crumbles. Yeah.
Oh God.
He goes, oh yeah, when he goes at the wall. Oh yeah.
Bringing this litany of oh,
Oh yeah, brother.
That's so awesome. He just walks through the wall, just boom, 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 boom.
And what happens next to accompany this situation is I'm gonna ask all 4 of you to highlight a moment in the assaulting of this building. Something that your character does, something, you know, in this battle. If you want, engage me with the I'm happy to basically describe what the enemy does, but feel free to describe it yourselves. So
we're going up or down?
Up. Yeah, up.
Okay.
So in that room that I burst into, I leave one alive,
Okay.
and I stand over them. Where is your leader? What is the name?
And he hisses and says, "Kilby,
I stomp him.
you'll never."
I just. Looks like this one won't cooperate, Arcorian. Let's find some more. And burst through the next wall.
Yeah, and as you like burst through the wall and keep going, Alcorian says, "It looks like you have a little bug on your boot, brother."
I do that awkward shake off my foot.
Ew, get it off. Or like you just find like a huge piece of wall like at a right angle and just like scrape your boot. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'll go. So I obviously Maraban's in the back, and he has he's going down a hallway, and he has a 3-armed pink man kind of jump out on him, and he thinks he's gonna surprise me, and he's got like a knife or something like that trying to stab a space marine, which is a real good idea. But Maraban grabs him midair, and he notices that he has like 3 arms.
Mm.
And he's like, that's not supposed to be there. And he takes his drill and just drills into the motherfucker. Like it just tears him in half with a drill.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, and then just drops him because it's like he basically split him in half and just keeps going.
Can I suggest like grabbing him in midair as he like leaps and just like bringing him in front, like drilling into him, and then just like flinging him, and he just goes like against the wall.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
So I'm charging forward, and up a flight of stairs. They've got like some barricades like thrown together and stuff, and they're like shooting. There's quite a few of them up there. And me and Morrigan are charging towards this stairs, and then I fall back against the wall, and I nod to Brother Morrigan, and I toss a frag grenade up the stairs. So as they scatter, and I just say,
Brother, show them the Emperor's light.
Just like mows through. He cuts the door in half. Like he literally just like he is aiming at a waist height of the average human being, and his Astartes body and brain is just like averaging, and just he does that. When he does that, he steps forward, he clears it. A body part gets lodged in the breech of his heavy bolter, and it jams.
Yeah.
And so as soon as he goes, he's just like, shit. And he remags it to his chest, and then he looks inside, not having killed everyone. He looks inside, not having killed everybody. He just blink sends a location to Morakil.
Oh, and then just, you hear like a
just and the thing just and it just melts another hole in the wall.
Yeah, so like the POV of the camera follows Morrigan's POV, like peeking around the corner, and like the blink, and then there's like a hot like second or two when nothing happens, and like the remainders in there are kind of like picking themselves back up and like looking around, like get maybe a couple raise their weapons, and then you just you see this like slowly building light from outside the building. Like highlight the inside of the room, and then just this as like the room like, explodes in plasma.
Yeah, and there's like feet that just kind of go, hup, you know, and like and then it takes from the perspective of Tychus, and Morrigan just turns around and like it's lean, turn, and as he turns back to Tychus, he You see the light and like the thing, so it looks like this, where he literally turns, he goes like that behind him, and he goes clear, and then just racks
my
it.
lens polarized with the fucking glare and stuff, and you can just see the explosion in the reflection of my eyes behind you.
Yep. And he just clears the jam, racks, he goes clear,
and up and carry on killing.
The camera keeps shifting to different corridors as the Astartes of the Fidelis Angelus move down, and like you see running humans, like some looking perfectly human, some less so, some a lot more purple, extra arms, etc. Like pouring out of rooms and trying to return fire. Some of them trying to retreat, trying to defend areas, but always every time these incessant boot stomps of the Astartes and the explosions of bolter fire, like just exploding bodies, just persists until the camera swings down to the perspective of outside the building, and the waiting Imperial guards who are essentially covering the building as like horrifically drenched in blood head to toe, because this is close quarter fighting with explosive weapons and melee, just dripping with blood, and all together as a squad. The 1 second. Where is it?
I just love the imagery of like standing outside and just saying,
Yeah. The whole squad, led by Sergeant Tykar, step out to the waiting Imperial Guardsmen, most of whom at this point are like cheering and like, woo, yeah, fucking right, and that kind of thing. The Colonel steps forward with the sign of the Aquila and says, magnificent job, Lord Astartes.
We have more work to do.
And we just walk.
Yeah.
yeah.
And as you walk, you are followed by the Imperial Guardsmen of this of the Pegasi Guard as you kind of like start proceeding down one of the side roads off to the next fight. And what we get next is actually, as the camera fades, it starts hard cutting between scenarios for the next probably about 2 or 3 weeks. You have a situation where a armored column has been ambushed and is like the front tank and the rear tank have been destroyed. They can't maneuver, they're trapped, they're doing their best to hold off. And as the swarms of like more gene stealery looking, you know, like they've got melee stuff, but they also have like claws that can scrape through.
We're getting somewhere, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things are progressing a bit. And they're like swarming towards these tanks just as the gene stealers start to like climb up the tanks and the guns start to overheat because they're so red. They start to overheat because they've been firing so much, and they start to run out of ammunition. Is when one of the gene stealers, like climbing up the back of a tank about to try and rip open one of the hatches, just gets its neck grabbed from nowhere by this like power armored gauntleted fist and like just squished. And then you hear like a kind of tinny sound of like, for the Emperor! And the Astartes of the Fidelis Angelus charge in, and bolters blaring. Another time, like squishing through sewers and pipes underneath the street level. There's a protracted firefight between the Astartes and these Gene Stealer cultists, where they locate multiple like caches of arms and ammunition and like things stolen from the Imperium. A lot of them have been like adjusted, or like symbols and stuff have scrawled on them. There's a moment after they've been killed and the caches have been found that oh lord, it is Brother Datian turns to you, Sergeant Tykar, and says,
permission to destroy these defiled weapons, sir.
Remove the taint, brother.
Yes, brother.
and the camera cuts to above ground as the Marines are like pulling themselves out of pipes and tunnels and hatches, getting out of the sewers, and you just see, like, as they're stepping out, these kind of like flares of light as the underground areas are being exploded.
You ever seen like the footage of an underground nuclear test detonation where like the ground just kind of goes and then like there's smoke along the cracks of everything? Like, I'm picturing that, where just like obviously the actual like tunnels or whatever kind of go, you know, with like fire, but everything else, if you're looking at somewhere where it doesn't have any of those, it's just like the ground guy goes and then there's cracks that shake and dust comes off of the cracks.
I was thinking of firing into the tunnel in Starship Troopers when they fire the rocket nuke thing.
Yeah.
You see a bug hole, you get.
Only good bug's a dead bug.
And then hard cut to the squad moving up the road to a scene of to a scene of veteran Scout Sergeant Enkdil. He was sent ahead to scout one of the kind of like bunker areas where the Pegasi Guard had been engaged with Gene Stealer cultists. Unfortunately, he has fallen at a crossroads.
Make a deal?
You come upon his body as you are advancing towards the bunkers. He appears to have been ambushed on his way to scout. He is surrounded by the bodies of multiple Pegasi guards.
Are those bodies facing
They are
toward him or away from him?
Towards him. There are no other bodies. It is purely Pegasi guardsmen.
So is he? I'm gonna go like look at his body, and is it that he died from like whatever weapons these Pegasi guard were carrying?
Las guns, bayonets. It looks like he was shot multiple times and then engaged in close combat. From the numbers that are around him, probably around about 40 or so. And there were probably more at that originally.
So I have to get his gene seed back, right? Or like
Yeah.
So I have to what kind of service goes into that? Is there like a ceremony, or is it just like
On the battlefield in general, there's not time.
Yank.
And
Okay.
as it's always more important, like if you want, you can transport the body back to with you. The problem
yeah, there's no way I'm letting a gene seed get out of my fucking grass after my history. So yeah, I'm gonna rip it out because
I'm gonna as soon as he goes for this, I have like, if we're anywhere near each other, I'm gonna see this and go, holy shit! Like, we literally have a brother down. You're going in just fucking balls to the wall to get this gene seed. We have not secured this area even remotely. It's a crossroads of a street. Like, we're way not okay. So I'm immediately stepping in and just being like,
yeah,
like just checking every single spot while you do this, because I know I'm not going to be able to talk you down from this. So I'm like, do it fast.
Yeah, I think we all storm down towards the body and just set up basically around the apothecary, because he needs to do that. He needs to do that. It might not be the best position, but we're all going to hunker down around him so he can finish his work.
Yeah.
This looks like treachery, Brother Sergeant.
I say nothing, but you see in your helm that I acknowledged what you said. And I'm scanning. I'm looking for everything, and until Silas has got that gene seed, then we can move on.
The other Astartes in general are completely silent and essentially just completely still. Usually there's a little bit of chatter back and forth, even if it's just like, you do this, you do that. Like at the moment, it's just everyone kind of like taking positions around a defensive position so that Maraban can retrieve the gene seed. And probably retrieve the body. You're going to retrieve the body as well. And there's very, very distant sounds of battle. Like muffled gunshots and explosions. Like, as you have been moving from fight to fight, from battle to battle, you've been realizing that anywhere that you are, you smash down the Gene Stealer cult. Like, you completely eradicate it from the area where you are, and it pops up in 5 different places at the same time. Like, you are very, very effective where you are. There just aren't enough of you, and the rot is spreading too far and too deep to actually be effective. So even while you're achieving every single objective you take, while you are being as effective as you can be on this battlefield, on this world, in this hive city, you're having no effect.
Is at that point would we like? I mean, maybe Tykar, but like suggesting that just nuke this fucking planet, or we just get rid of it, like just destroy the whole planet because we don't want the. I mean, when is the point for us that? It's.
Hey, Rod,
I mean, it's.
Why
yeah.
don't you do that in character? That'd be really good.
Yeah. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna walk up.
So I would say, in the silence, as you are retrieving the gene seed and you're looking into the face of the scout sergeant, who is the oldest member of the squad, the most experienced, there's probably like, you pause for a second and then,
Okay. Brother Sergeant, this infestation, nothing we do affects it. It continues to get worse and worse. This planet, I do not believe we can save it.
Apothecary, do you have the gene seed?
Yes. Yes,
Cover
Brother
the
Sergeant.
body.
I cover up body.
Check these guard. Do I know? I don't know if there is even a way. Is there a way for an apothecary to find out if these guard, their DNA has been altered? In the field.
He can have a little look and see if there's any like minor mutations or telltale signs. I will say that their skin's a little bit tinged, maybe. Like it's subtle.
Fuck.
There appears to be signs of infection. Would infection be the right word?
But infection,
Yeah.
or
infection.
infestation, maybe.
Infestation.
Good enough.
Don't
Don't actually us chat.
There doesn't seem to be much that we can do. The plague is spreading everywhere we go.
As he's talking, I am calling up to our strike cruiser to speak to. Is it Debral? It's Debral, isn't it?
Yeah.
Commander Debral.
Commander Debral.
Yes, Lord.
Are your efforts above the planet?
They are resulting in very little noticeable change.
Target the guard camps.
Oh my, what?
With respect, Lord, I can't do that. I've received orders, and the forest is moving.
Understood.
And I go to I take off my helmet and I look at this tainted world. And I look Silas, you've got the body, right? Of
Yep.
the scout.
Yep.
Brothers, we move now. And if I have to commandeer any guard ship or anything,
They're sending in a transport ship. Like the ship, the commander is sending in specifically sending to your location now.
We're being extracted.
Yeah, immediate extraction.
Traction is now. Kill anything that moves. Move! And I start sprinting towards the LG.
Fuck it.
And
If I see any guards, I'm just pop, pop, pop. Like,
Yeah,
if there's
same.
just ones in front of me, I'm just going to walk through them and just mush them with my...
Holy shit,
And-
dude.
as the Astartes of the Fidelis Angelus, all follow their sergeant and are swallowed by the shadows inside these streets. Occasional flashes of light and little pops and pings, like, gunfire sound off as they're running away from, not running away from the battlefield, but running away from what is essentially the front line, back a little bit towards where supposedly their allies are, as the camera fades away and we finish for this episode.
Bro, what the fuck? What is that ending?
That guard are so lucky that the forest is moving.
Oh,
They are
dude.
so lucky.
I was about to purge an entire planet, dude.
You literally were like, target the guard camps. What the
You
fuck?
can't. I mean, like, it was guard who betrayed, and if they were sent along with the Astartes, you got to assume the person in command trusted them to some degree.
Uh-huh.
So therefore, all of it's got to go.
Oh my god,
I mean,
dude.
when us killing as much as we're just like slaughtering everything, and it's like cutting off a limb, and like it's like a hydra. There was no
I mean, like,
stopping it.
so, like, absolutely. But the idea of it's I mean, we talk about it like Exterminatus is like a thing that's like really talked about a lot in 40K, but in all honesty, it's not very common to just
rare.
condemn to make a world completely unusable where we just like, it doesn't matter if it's infested, it's still a world that could technically be fought back for, and we could, the Imperium could still use it. So if you Exterminatus, it's just gone. It's gone. There's just we don't get it. It's a dead world, and that's it. There's nothing left of it.
Decades, centuries, that planet is just gone.
Yeah.
The main time the Imperium will use Exterminatus is either to deny something very specific to the enemy,
Yep.
or if it risks spreading too much, or to a very strategically important planet.
Yep.
Like, yeah, so...
I mean-
Like even then though, like the fact that that just shows how fucking serious it is, where the conversation wasn't dismissed immediately, that we were talking about Exterminatus, and fucking Brother Sergeant was just like, target the guard camps. He didn't say no. He just said target the guard camps, which means it was still on the fucking table. That's how bad it is. Holy shit.
Apologies, I just had to grab something from the Discord.
Yeah! Yes! Yes!
That's the live tweet.
Odious, yes! I love that.
Odious, I love you.
Thanks.
Oh,
Thanks
my
for the
God.
appreciation, Odious.
How do you do, fellow Tyrannid?
What I'm gonna do now is, seeing as I was a meanie old mean today, I'm gonna open the floor for each of you to talk about your channels and the usual stuff, but feel free to have a quick little chat about the episode today, because I feel like we had some harsh shifts and a lot of fun until a certain point. Feel free to whoever goes.
Dude, I had a load of fun. I was
I don't know
target the
what the
guard
hell you're
camps.
talking about. I had a blast from beginning to end. Are you kidding me? That was
Wow.
awesome. We were talking about that in the Discord, or just like, this episode is just nothing but action. But I will say, in contrary to that, we had an interim time in between. Like,
It was
we
huge
had-
character growth.
There was a ton of shit
Yep.
we did today.
It's so much fun for Nephier when Morkan comes and goes, I'm not as good at murdering everything with a pistol. Was basically his complaint. It was like, man, like, it got
I
a bit
feel like I
unlucky.
break this thing.
But in reality, he's like, an angel of death, truly.
Yeah.
He's super efficient killing machine, still doing his duty to a degree with a pistol, which isn't his
Yeah.
specialty. Like, he's still
Like
brilliant.
that.
So it's so refreshing from like the chaplain point of view for the worry to be a nothing. So it was like an amusing, like, fun little, like, oh, I just get to, this is the easy stuff.
This
I
is
don't
an
need to
easy conundrum to solve. Like, I'm giving you a slow pitch at that point.
You had no worries about your purpose or anything.
Yeah.
It was just like a bit of, like, you're too good at something, so you think you're bad at everything else.
So let's start off with PG.
Yeah.
Hit yourself up, and then feel free. I feel like you may want to talk about the Orc War Boss a little bit.
Hi, my name is Peachy Pixelate, and it's been 8 hours since I last bought paint.
Was it Citadel?
I actually did get to Citadel, so
Oh,
don't
for
worry.
God's sakes! All right.
Don't worry. I got dropper bottles. We good.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay. All right. He's gonna cut him. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, I feel like because I murder killed an orc war boss, which was fucking sick.
That
I
was
got to
awesome.
show off my sword that I've been planning in my head for ages, because one of the symbol of is it the blade? No, it's blades in, I forget. The in the inner circle, the symbol is a broken sword. And because I'm a knight of the order, I've not only got my Caliban longsword, Calibanite longsword, it's also got the break in it, but you don't see it until it's like activated. So I got
Way
to be a
cool.
badass, and then I'm like, okay, I have to lead, but I'm just a person in this show. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, here's me telling you to go and do something cool, because I've had enough cool for today. And then Scoticus comes in with like this full-on like proper chaplain. Like Morrigan's like, oh, I'm too good at shooting stuff with the big gun.
Oh,
That was cool. Like I was like, oh, I was just watching it. Do you know when you're like in the show but you're just watching it and you're like, oh, that's really cool. He's such a cool chaplain.
Yeah.
Scoticus wasn't a huge Warhammer 40K nerd before this show.
No.
And now he is a chaplain.
Now he's a fucking chaplain. Way to go, bud. That was quick.
That was dope. Also with Morrigan, that scene where you're like, I understand now. I was like legitimately moved, and I'm spamming into Sheepy and DMs going, oh my god, right, okay, so Tychus would 100% get his weapon sanctified and put an inscription on it. I need this to happen now. And Sheepy's like, yeah, what do you want to call it? I'm like,
I like as you were doing your scenes, like leading up to getting the weapon with the inscription, me and Peachy were like throwing back different quotes to each other, just like, what about this quote? What about this quote?
Nailing
Like,
it
change
down.
this.
Yeah, dude, the quote on there was sick. That was sick. Like we need to make sure that's written down somewhere. That's all I gotta say. You put it
we are
down
tools
somewhere.
of the Emperor, and we distinguish this by our deeds. That was mostly Sheepy. I was
That
like,
was
oh,
really
this,
good.
This, tweet this. It
I
was-
just want to see the pictures of Morrigan standing over the box with the look of utter confusion and like, am I gonna get like? It's like, what is like the Purple Elephant song playing in his head while he's like,
he probably hasn't seen wood since he was an aspirant as well.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely not. Yeah. He's seen it, and that's what trees are made of when he has to go murder somewhere where there's trees, you know?
And then Silas actually gets a gene seed, so he's one up now.
Yeah. He did that, and he fucking, let's not forget, Silas fucking domed a war boss.
And now,
How about that?
and now
Silas
has
one-shot a fucking war boss.
and now has incense ornaments that like are made out of his teeth.
yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
I
Which,
thought,
by the
I
way,
mean-
that's actually really cool when it comes to like orc lore, because their whole currency is teeth.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Like,
Yeah.
that's probably like pretty valuable to them
Yeah.
too.
Well, I want to interject very quickly here before I switch over to Maraban, so he could talk about his awesome times. Peachy is doing 40k stuff of content of his own. Some painting on the Instagram, and I believe some painting.
Follow me on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, Instagram. But I also believe we're ramping slowly up to YouTube content as well, like
Maybe.
unique YouTube content for 40k. So, get in on ground door, ground
Is that
floor.
a man reaper? Ooh, maybe.
Get in on the ground floor. Link in the description to Peachy's YouTube channel. It's the @Peachy. There's the @ and then there's the Twitch link. Click the @ it'll take you to his YouTube. Give us a subscribe, and then you'll get it as soon as it fucking turns on.
There is some really cool things coming. Me and
Yeah.
Sheepy have chatted about this.
Yes, we have.
Some cool shit coming.
So yes, I needed to promote that because he didn't remember.
The episode was too cool,
Yeah.
dude. I'm sorry.
Rod, and Maraban, how you doing? And where can people see you?
It was good. You can find me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Rod_Johnson. And that is you can find me on Instagram and other places that I'm doing random stuff like putting poems out and shit like that. I also have a podcast, Murder Moose, which we talk about horror movies and stuff like that. So that's a weekly thing. And that's been going for a while. And I think that's pretty much it. I've been playing through Spider-Man 2 on my Twitch channel, so.
Aim for the last episode. Publish a 40K poem from the perspective of Maraban on your Instagram.
I'll do that. I'll do that.
Yeah.
I've been trying to do one a day for a while, so I'll do that, man. I will do that, and I will let you fucking know.
Okay.
The real question is, will it be a sad poem or will it be a triumphant poem?
I think right now it would be a sad poem, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like he did take this death of the scout sergeant super well.
Well,
Holy
that's
shit,
why
yeah.
I asked you guys, and like as for me, because I didn't want to overstep his like understanding of like what, but like I would have felt like at that point he's like, I ain't letting this happen again. I got my gene seed back. I am not losing any more of my brothers.
I think we all kind of knew there was no talking you back from that, and we all just were just like, no, we've got this. Like, we're gonna go cover you as long as you fucking move. You know,
if Yule didn't get fucking like reassigned, pulled out, etc. Like, I have a feeling like Maraban would have gone on to murder some innocent people on that fucking planet. Like,
oh yeah,
like
they would have
crimes!
been. It would have been at that point. It would have been any like when Tykar started just shooting the troop. He would have been like chainsawing motherfuckers in half. I mean, with his chainswording him because it's like. You just killed my brother. You made me go take a gene seed. I mean, you gave me a little bit of a redemption, but there's that humanity is like, oh, okay, these guys. I would just see them all as infected, like every single one of them. You know.
Yep.
And let's hit. Well, we're not going to hit them because we've had all our violence for today. But let's get the next from Zacodicus and also Brother Nephir. Are you looking forward to donning your gear?
Oh,
The mission is starting.
Yeah, excited. I can't wait.
Crozius.
Yes, we'll get to experience that next episode probably. So make sure you tune in, and you can find me on all the internet places. It is Zgodicus, as you see it spelled in the description. Follow me in all those places, and next episode's that face.
Oh, look, it's an orc.
Look at the face.
Oh my god!
Scratching.
Look, it's an orc.
I very much enjoyed today's episode. Good to do some badassery, some chaplaining, and then next few weeks I'll be doing some chaplain badassery, hopefully.
And speaking of badassery, finally, but not leastly. Yeah, thank you. I was like, how the hell do I say that?
Poetic.
Anyway, this is Goobers and also Moricon.
Hi, I'm Groovers515. I am a streamer on Twitch. That's my main jam. You can find me there. You can find me on Twitter if you want to, but just fucking Twitter. And if you want to be involved in my community, it's in my Discord. That's where all that shit is. But I am doing all sorts of stuff right now. Right now, I'm doing a fundraising event on my stream for my channel. So keep that in mind. It's not a charity thing, but fundraising for my channel, where we are doing crowd-controlled Elden Ring run between me and the Rom Show. We're racing to see how many bosses we can kill while chat fucks us into the dirt with crowd-controlled nightmares.
Boss rush.
We're just seeing how many bosses we can kill within a week. And chat can just like summon in Melania for, a couple bucks or teleport us to a lake or just kill us or, do all these things. Cost money, but like that's the challenge of it.
But your misery is worth that money.
Yes, right. Absolutely. Listen, either you enjoy what you do or you laugh your way to the bank. And
Papa gotta eat.
Yep. So that's what we're doing this week. Again, it's a fun experience regardless. So I'd love to have you around. But yeah, I would just say today, man, was fucking great. Today was awesome. Like, what a fucking series of events. What a character development session. Like, it was really awesome to see. I don't know, every little element that ended up blossoming there was really cool. There was a lot of like really cool like action moment storytelling, you know, like breaching the Tyranid office building, legitimately felt like it was some like Astartes level stuff, you know, like the visual thing, like of just fucking nephew just walking through the wall and already shooting before they can see him, you know, like and they're
guarding the door, and he just boom through the fucking
boom, 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 and they're dead before they turn left. You know, like
nobody expects the Fidelis Angelus.
Yeah.
Nobody suspects the Kool-Aid man. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I really enjoyed the different combat stuff and the holy fuck, the bombshell drops, the crazy shit. Like, we need to know what was the name of this planet? Do we have one for the Tyranid one? The last one we were on?
Yes, it was Yavian.
Yavian, okay. Yavian, we need to keep up on this because I want to know if they get nuked or not. Like, I need to know if they're saved or what the idea is, because holy shit, if we're getting pulled out, like...
You got a choir on board, right? It's a strike cruiser.
I think so. Ooh, actually, I don't know. What is the level of...
They might not have given us a full choir.
Likely you would get, like, it'd be important to stay in proper contact, so I'd say, likely a choir.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Someone's gonna find out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
And obviously, for all of them as well, do make sure to follow them. They are worth following. And I don't want to commit anyone to stuff that they don't want to do or anything along those lines, but I'm like, I feel like you guys should do a collaborative one-off, like, play session of Dark Tide.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, like maybe in character Dark Tide.
Dark Tide? Let's go.
I just downloaded it because everyone is raving about the new update.
Yeah, like apparently the update. Well, not apparently. I've played the update. It's pretty fun.
That's good. It makes me happy that it's bringing a little bit more life back into it.
Yeah.
So
Another game they released that isn't ready, and it didn't sound like it was as bad as a lot of the other issues. It was just under featured right when it launched, and
it was good. It
that
just
was
didn't have enough stuff at launch.
Yeah.
Didn't keep people's attention. That was really it.
Yeah, but I just think it would be fun. Like, if you guys, we all enjoy 40K. I think we know at this point. But
what did I have my character is surprising no one, an Ogren, and his name is Teeth.
My Ogren is called Good Rat.
We had another friend of mine who had an Ogren named Bronson. It was so good. I would be down. You guys let me know, because that'd be a blast.
We'll see what we can do. So finally, we have the shouts, the super chats. I was expecting
questions.
Like,
you got some questions, dude.
I've got them. Don't worry. I was expecting there to be none, because when you do it the first time, people are like, "Oh, cool, new thing. Let's play around with it." But apparently, people were down. So I am going to go text to speech to do these questions. The first one is for Sergeant Tykar. So
Sergeant Tykar, if you found out one of your brothers was a traitor, who would you most likely suspect? And are you prepared to carry out their sentence?
Okay, first of all, the second part of that question, yes. And I assume they're asking that they mean us four, right?
I think out of the whole squad, I would expect. But you could do both.
They probably, the thing is, he's a Dark Angel. He's been raised from birth into an Astartes. To trust the chaplaincy, right?
Yeah.
Because they are super powerful in the Dark Angel, so it's definitely not a fear. It's not Morrigan either.
Really?
No, he is like a weapon. He's actually. This is gonna sound stupid, but he's actually pure. Do you know what I mean?
Weirdly enough, the two people that I would suspect most of going traitor or being traitor would be Tykar and Silas, because they have doubt. There's a crack. There's a crack there.
The thing is, but like Tykar does have doubt is the wrong word, but he is wary of Silas because he was in the penance box and he's not privy to all the stuff of chaplaincy. So like, oh, he got out early. That's a bit weird. Yeah. They don't usually do that, but there's a mission, blah blah blah. Like, he's probably most likely, but I wouldn't suspect him of going traitor.
If I could suggest out of all of them, I'd say our Lazriel is the one I'd say is the closest who could be a traitor. Like that amount of pride and like
that's what I was thinking.
He's the one that keeps going back into combat after being fucked up.
Yeah.
He charges in and
Like
he's almost.
But no, I mean that's kind of selfless though.
Well,
although he does bring us down because we have to cover.
Well, that's the thing as well. He's very unforgiving of himself, which means he's unforgiving of failures in others.
Yep.
So he doesn't accept.
Let's say he's the unforgiven.
I mean, he doesn't accept compromises with anything, and that type of thing. Like you're the rock, right? You're the thing that will never break until you break, and then you fucking break. So
yep. That's some Slanesh shit if I've ever heard it.
Yeah. Okay, Corn.
That's what I was trying to reason with him because I was like, Silas knows about the fucking doubt, self-doubt, but it's like, dude, you're gonna get everyone killed by not being ready.
I feel like I'm trying to figure out if Silas would be like who he would put. I feel like he would be like Nurgle. I feel like he would go that route if Silas
Apothecary, 100% Nurgle, yeah.
But not for that, like the whole thing of just like giving in to the like having the pain, and then it would be the track of giving in to the pain, and then just committing yourself to the entropy and like,
but
please
Silas
God,
isn't
take
very
away from
giving. Like Nurgle is pretty giving. Silas is not a giver. You know what I mean?
Oh, you guys think about it. I'm going to carry on with the text of speech.
Yeah,
please.
Another one for Sergeant Tykar.
What the fuck?
You got a lot of them.
Who under your command is going to get themselves killed first, and why?
Morrigan.
And why is it Morrigan?
Turns out it was Enkidu.
Memes aside,
apparently.
Silas is so focused on. Like, he could have died just now in that scene. I don't actually think it's Morrigan. I think Silas would be most likely because he is super focused. Like, I don't think he cares if he dies as long as he gets the gene seed.
And Silas's passion is coming out as well a fair bit, which can lead to impulsive decisions you wouldn't usually make. Like, even as a space marine.
After killing that war boss, he's starting to feel himself a bit. Sort of trying to put that behind him and ride the momentum. Sometimes that can trip you up.
I think it might be Silas.
It could be.
You don't want to go. I don't want to go back to that fucking box.
Not the box. Honestly,
okay.
I wanted to mention the irony of the fact that we're talking about how Silas doesn't care if he dies. Right? He's not. It's protect the gene seed, repent for my failure. And then if I happen to live, great.
Yeah.
Which I find so ironic considering the conversation he had with Lazriel.
With
which
Lazriel.
was just like, your honor, your pride is overriding your self-preservation. Fucking hypocrite. Like, I mean, hot calling the kettle black, man. Like, which is great. Like, my God, because it means that it means that Silas has no idea. He's completely oblivious to it.
Well, that's his pride and that's his honor, and like that's where he refuses to bend or break.
I'm
gonna hit this one real hot quick because it's really simple. So the first one was from Dan Man. Thank you, Dan Man, for that question for the Sergeant. The second one for the Sergeant was from Dooza Pindan. Thank you, Doos.
Thank you, guys.
Next up is Angry Potato.
Is this Guard Regiment the Pegasi Guard?
Yeah, 100% it's the Pegasi Guard.
You nailed it first, yeah.
I went into it in the show. Good guess, man. Like, damn, I thought I was going to catch everyone off guard with that.
I was in it, and I didn't pick on that.
Next up, again from Angry Potato.
Is Commissar friendly infected?
Hell no, there's no way Commissar Friendly is gonna get taken down by Gene Stealers, man. Commissar Friendly is like the Pegasi Guard is fairly large at this point, and it's on multiple fronts too. So that's why Hugo, oh god, I can't remember his name. It's Hugo something, but Peach's character is the commander. He's not on this world. I was gonna go a bit deeper in and say like he'd been injured and he was off world somewhere, but we didn't get there. Yeah. To give you it's not something someone asked, but I will give you a little bit of extra information. There is actually a splinter fleet going in the direction. It's gonna be there in like a week or two. So even if you hadn't got called to the mission, you would have still been pulled out and been like, it's not worth you guys staying there. This planet's about to die anyway.
Shit, man.
So.
I do appreciate how in very few times do you see when Astartes are overwhelmed and outmatched, because a lot of people forget that us like Space Marines are not frontliners. They're not grunts. They're literally shock troops. They're strike squad. Like even in grander numbers, they're still not used as frontliners. Like they're just not. You put the Imperial Guard into the meat grinder, and you put the Astartes in to do critical missions. And we got to see here where it was just like, oh fuck, this is outside of our scope. That we cannot do this. Like, though we are 5 and will win at whatever we do, they will win faster than we win.
Yeah.
You know? So it's cool to have that because it's a perspective shift. It's always cool to keep that in mind when you're doing it. It's like, yeah, Astartes are nigh unkillable, but like it doesn't mean like that they can just always win the war. They can win a battle.
It's one of the things I wanted to highlight on this one is like after the orcs and like booping them, I wanted to highlight like as effective as you guys are, there's only like your 120% can only, you can't affect the entire. There are instances where you totally can, like, if you manage some ridiculous like heroic defense, you boost up the morale, but that works better against things like orcs. With Tyranids, with Gene Stealers, they can just infect.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah. All right, shall we call things here for today?
Yeah,
I've kept you way too long, but in my defense, I was trying to make you promote yourselves, and you were too busy talking about the show.
My name's Sheepy. I'm in a good role-playing show.
I'm too good at the big gun.
So, thank you to all 4 of you for yet again allowing me to do this show. Thank you to everyone out there who's a patron, everyone who throws down a super chat. Any support, even if it's just a like, a comment on the video to promote it a little bit. Going somewhere and telling a mate, like, hey, do you like 40k? Go check out these weird losers who are doing Astartes, which no one ever fucking does, apparently.
Are there other people doing Astartes?
No, I don't think.
We ain't losers.
I don't think there's anyone doing Astartes. And yeah, we will see you next week for the official donning of the Skull Helm. Can you do a Skeletor voice, Zacodicus? See you next week, everyone.
Bye.